my Trinity to the Holy Trinity, but I guarantee you, my Trinity of homemade small batch rubs can put a heavenly smile on your taste buds. And all three come with my 100% money back guarantee. If you don't love and think that my Trinity of beast and butt rub, chicken mamu, and Acadiana steak seasoning aren't the best and most essential spices in your arsenal, I'll buy them back from you.
It may not be holy, King Dude, but that's the best spice and rub deal on this side of heaven.
Order Mike Church's set of Trinity rubs and save big at mikechurch.com/rub. That's one bottle each of beast and butt rub, chicken mamu lemon herb seasoning, and Acadiana steak seasoning for one low price and the King Dude's money back guarantee. Order today at mikechurch.com/rub. We don't know why Trump started a war with Iran, made deals with Roundup, and got Thomas Massey canceled. But we do know there's a pound of gold in Mike Church's studio, and all you have to do to win it is listen for the golden sound of the day. Weekday mornings at 6 a.m. on The Mike Church Show at MikeChurchShow.com and on YouTube at Real King Dude.
That you just so severely miss the holiness and the relaxation of Sunday that makes Monday suck so bad? I don't know. It's like the life is a box of a bowl of cherries question. Nonetheless, we are live here on the Mike Church Show on a Monday. Asking question of the day.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Well, I'll tell you, Obama's back.
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire. For a safe and secure society.
So I'm calling on Congress to pass these reforms, and I'm going to sign them into law.
No, you're not.
Fall down the thunder, well, now you got it.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Alrighty, Oakley Dokley and all that sort of jazz. Call in line telephone number if you'd like to be on the program today, 844-527-8723, 8445-Crusade. Email me directly. My email address, same as it ever hath been, KingDude@MikeChurch.com, and I am KingDude at ProtonMail.com. Crusader, Mike Church Show Chatroom Stadium is open for your commentary at CrusadeChannel.com/chat. It is a Monday. You know, I thought we were kind of cruising in to the launch of the program here on a Monday. We weren't going to have any issues. We're actually going to have enough time. The trains are going to run on time and everything. And then I forgot that I had done something to this iMac on Saturday. And I went, yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. But we got everything reinstalled and we're up and
All
running.
13 flight controllers, listen up. Give me a go,
Mike
no, go
Church,
for
flight
launch.
controllers, give me go, no, go. Chat room,
Go. Final.
podcast,
We're go flight.
Guidance.
Guidance go.
video,
Go flight.
HD,
We're go flight.
recording,
We're go.
Tell me
preview
go.
stream,
Control.
Go flight.
Procedures.
census fidelium, go.
FAO.
MikeChurch.com,
We are go.
Network.
go. Transom,
Recovery.
fax machine.
Capcom.
We're go flight.
Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
I just like throwing fax machine in there because nobody has one anymore. Nope. You can actually fax things to the federal government, though. Did you know that?
Yes, you can.
If you're doing tax return stuff and you want and you don't feel like waiting for the mail to get there, you can actually fax things to. I don't know where you'd find a fax machine at, though. There's probably some software program that does it. In any event, welcome aboard. It is a Monday. This is day number 8 of the 2026 Golden Truth Ticket Contest and sweepstakes. Gold valued at just a little over $52,000 today. And unbelievably, just to me, it's just absolutely inconceivable. If we were to put those tickets into that hopper right now, only 308 people have decided that they want to win $53,000 or $52,000 and change in gold. Want to support the Mike Church Show and the Crusade Radio Guild, which is our nonprofit, and all the other things that we do here, 365 days a year. And so we don't just come out and say, hey, man, give us $50 so we can stay on air. We say, hey, give us $50. We're going to give you a chance to win great prizes, including a pound of gold at winapoundofgold.com. And it's the same deal every year. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the size of the car is. Doesn't matter how much gold it is. Until like 3 days before we're actually going to pull the ticket. That's when everyone will go, oh, wait, I didn't get one. So winapoundofgold.com. You should go and get one today. Just assume that everyone has heard. Yes, Maggie. Oh.
I'm listening intently.
You're listening intently. Lies. All lies. That is a complete... You know that is a... It's 6... It's 6:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. You're not listening intently. All you're thinking about is, how long is it till Friday?
True story.
How long is it until 9:30 a.m. Friday and I'm finally free from the clutches of this infernal studio? So Trump has made a deal with the Iranians, which is pretty much the deal that was made by Obama back in 2014, 2015. So they're never going to have a nuclear weapon. Never said they're not going to make one. They won't buy one. Okay. Well, that's what they said in the last deal. The only difference is this time you haven't put $10 billion in cold hard cash on a C-130 transport plane and had it flown over there. You're just going to do an ACH direct bank transfer. The big difference here is, I'm looking at the bullet points of the deals. So Friday or Thursday, when it was said that I think we got a deal, they're going to sign a deal. If they don't, we're going to bomb the crap out of them. And the Iranians go like, there is no deal. Now, I wonder if any of the cash reparations are in that deal and they're just not going to show you that part. The Iranians also insisted, so the rest of the world should give thanks to the Iranian negotiators, insisted that the Israelis stop murdering people in Lebanon. Apparently, the White House had to have another scream session with the Likudists in Israel and inform them that you got to stop bombing Lebanon. Stop bombing Lebanon. Now, I fully expect the Mossad and the Likudists and the Israels have 5 days to screw this up. I fully expect that every stop will be pulled out and that the Israelis will do all that they can do to derail this. By the way, just so you know that your kind, humble host is correct many of the times. As I said on Thursday or Friday's program, I think it was Friday's, that you just make the deal, and then if there's actually going to be one, and it's going to be signed in another country, well, then the best place to do that is in Switzerland, because the Swiss are notoriously, I shouldn't say notoriously, because that kind of makes it sound like it's bad. They're famously neutral. They try to remain neutral in these sorts of things. So it was announced that, they will go on Friday, this Friday, June the 19th, and that the meeting will be in Switzerland. And that's where the Iran-United States peace deal will get signed. Apparently, the Straits of Hormuz will then be opened soon as the ink is dry from the signing of the deal. Now, I wonder who signs this. Jared Kushner can't sign that deal. He is not a Politico. He has not been confirmed by the United States Senate. Only an ambassador, consul, or someone that was either elected, that would only be Trump and Vance, or has been confirmed by the United States Senate, could act as a liaison, if you will, on behalf of the government of the United States. Kushner can't sign that thing. It'd mean absolutely nothing for Kushner and what's the other guy's name that's over there doing Witkoff to negotiate, to sign this. They can't sign it. So who's going to sign it? Is it going to be Tracksuit Marco? Is it going to be Push-Up Pete? Is Trump going to fly over there? Is Trump going to sign it? Treaties. So all of this is just so screwed up. How do you pass a treaty out of the United States Senate? The first treaty ever was a treaty twixt the United States and an Indian tribe. I'm trying to remember which one it was. George Washington actually wanted the treaty. Have I told this story? I haven't told this story recently, have I? How many votes does it take to pass the treaty? I think it's 67. So Washington wanted and I'm only going to tell this just to try to kind of put this into perspective. Washington wanted this treaty with his Indian tribe, and so he had his, I think, did he have Adams? No, it might have been Jefferson. He had somebody draw the treaty up. The Indians agreed to it. And then, of course, the Constitution says that the treaties go through the United States Senate. There's a clause in the Constitution that says they go through the U.S. Senate. So they sent their version of it over, Washington's version of it over to the Senate, and they began debating it. And so Washington, thinking that the Senate was a cool place and that the senators were cool, was like, you know what? I think I'm going to walk over there and I'm going to watch the debate. And now, of course, the Congress at that time would have been in New York City. New York City! Yep, get a rope. It would have been in Federal Hall, which is across the street. You can still go there today. There's a historical marker right down the street is France's Tavern, which is a really cool little historical bar and grill. In any event, Washington decided that he was, and I think he was staying at France's Tavern at the time, decided that, you know what, let's go over there and watch the debate. Watch him talk about our treaty. So he walked over there, and the Senate was in session, and he took a seat in the gallery, and he watched for 3 hours in horror. As one senator would stand up and would read a clause from the treaty and go like, who was the idiot that wrote this, basically? And of course, it was Washington's people. And then another senator would stand up and go like, well, we'll strike this language. This is so poorly written. Da, da, da. And as Washington is sitting there, as the legend goes, and it's in one of his biography, I think it's in Washington Irving's biography, the one that I put back into print, called Life of Washington, Volume 2, which you can, or Volume 1 and 2, which you can get at shop.mikechurch.com in hardback. So Washington is sitting there, and the longer this goes on, the more red he's getting in the face. And he didn't want to be rude and just stand up in the middle of the session and walk out. So he's waiting for them, and he's going like, do these people ever take a break? And finally, when they decided to adjourn for lunch or for whatever, Washington stands up. He looks at John Adams, who is the leader pro tem of the Senate, as the Constitution says, and he says something to the effect, this is the most foolhardy, ridiculous legislative session I have ever been a privy to. I shall never return here again, and all of you should be ashamed of yourselves. And he stood up, all 6'3" of himself, walked to the door, and then opened it and slammed it as hard as he could and walked out. Now, what did we learn from our little George Washington history lesson story that I just shared with you? Washington couldn't sign the treaty with the Indians. Only the Senate could do it. Now, a couple of things. Do the Iranians know this? Is there going to be an attempt to have this deal? Because at the end of the day, there's no such thing as a deal between the head of one country, of a sovereign country, the head of state, and the United States. These things are all done via treaties. I forget how many treaties we have on the books, but there's literally hundreds upon hundreds of them. Now, as a matter of fact, I think that the last time that we actually investigated this, that we talked about this and looked at this, was over reciprocal passport agreements. Remember, Maggie? I think we have 181 reciprocal passport agreements. And you can't just go to, let's just I'll throw a country out there, Fiji. You don't go to Fiji and say, hey, I'm sending Steve Witkoff over there with a piece of paper. Put your name on it, and he'll put his name on it. We'll all be good. There is a process that you're supposed to do this by. So, long story short, I am wondering, is this a treaty that gets ratified by the U.S. Senate? Because it should. Donald John Trump cannot just enter into an agreement with the sovereign nation state of Iran of his own will, volition, and power. Only the Senate can enter into a treaty. That's a really good question. Did Obama go to the Senate when he made his deal? We will plumb the depths of this and get to the answer. There was a big. I'll come back to this later in the program. So, big controversy over Disclosure Day, Spielberg's new movie, and what it is that he is trying to communicate. Oh, Maggie is telling me that J.D. Vance is going to do it. Okay, well, Vance can do it. Vance is at least an officer of the government of the United States because he was elected as vice president. So then, okay, well, at least you'll get, at least that part of it's covered. So there is a controversy over some of what is in the movie Disclosure Day. Now, I never would have picked up on this. Michael Hitchborn, my buddy, picked up on this and said, well, Spielberg has been a Catholic hater and an anti-Catholic bigot his entire career. And he pointed to the ancient, I said ancient, old, that makes me ancient, E.T. movie poster. The E.T. phone home. There, Maggie has it right there. Go to the one where he's pointing, where E.T. is pointing to there it is. So as you're seeing on your screen there, on the left, obviously, is the Sacred Heart of our Lord Jesus Christ. And in that particular artwork, where he's holding his right hand up with the two, and he's saying that's two natures, right? And he's pointing at his Sacred Heart. And then you see the artwork for the movie E.T. There's E.T. holding his right hand up with one finger, and then pointing at his fake Sacred Heart. You see that? I never picked up on that. Has that always been? Is that in the original movie poster? Or has that kind of like evolved with the different releases of E.T. on DVD, for example? In any event, Spielberg is giving interviews, and he's basically saying something to the effect, no, he's not saying something to the effect, he's saying it. He's saying that, well, Catholics, he doesn't say Catholics, he says the church is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be made uncomfortable by the questions that are posed in the movie Disclosure Day. And he's pointing to that he seems to be like actually kind of happy about this. Why would Catholics and the Catholic Church be made to be uncomfortable over a part or over something that is not a part of the religion? We'll talk about it when we come back.
Mike Church Show has been the industry leader in promotions, giving away 5 cars in the last 8 years alone. But nothing can prepare you for the greatest giveaway event in broadcast history. Coming June 8th.
One of my favorite books is Jim Collins' Good to Great, and lots of people have benefited from reading it, including me. But few people have read his follow-up book, How the Mighty Fall. Now, over the course of the last 18 years has been quite the feat of survival to avoid becoming one of the fallen, but survive we have. And guess what else survived? The world-famous Dude Number t-shirt, which began in 2007. Now, to kick off the relaunch of this elite membership club, we announced a brand new t-shirt design, a brand new certificate of authenticity, and access to numbers that have only recently become available. Here's Jim to tell you how to secure that Dude Number that's unique and special to you.
Just head to mikechurch.com/dude for all things Dude Number, including purchasing your 2026 version of the world-famous Dude Number t-shirt. That's mikechurch.com/dude and join America's morning show, The Mike Church Show, and the Red, White, and Dude Nation's elite membership club. That's mikechurch.com/dude.
I think I'll go to sleep and dream about piles of gold getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Here's a piles and piles of gold fun fact. In 1971, if D.B. Cooper had jumped out of an airplane with $200,000 worth of gold instead of U.S. currency, he would have $25.4 million in gold bullion today. Now, we don't know where D.B. Cooper's money is, but we do know that Mike Church has 1 troy pound of gold in his safe and that he's going to give it away on July 2nd. And you don't have to jump out of an airplane to win it.
Win Mike Church's Pound of Gold. Tickets on sale now exclusively at winapoundofgold.com. D.B. Cooper and Cocaine Bear parachute sold separately.
In 1983, ZZ Top made the song
crazy about a shark dress man.
And it was true from the time that song came out till around 2010, when girls stopped going crazy over a sharp-dressed man because men stopped dressing sharply. Cargo shorts, flip-flops, and tank tops became all the rage for men's public casual wear, to say nothing of how they dressed for mass. Well, as my listeners and viewers know, there's hardly anything more important to me than being a
Shark dress man.
And to help you become one, I'm introducing the official necktie of the Mike Church Show, Proselytize, whose designs are not only striking, they're 100% Catholic. You will look fantastic and like a sharp-dressed Catholic man in your Proselytize neckties. Available now in the Mike Church Show haberdashery at shop.mikechurch.com. Shop for ties, caps, t-shirts, and much more in the Mike Church Show haberdashery at shop.mikechurch.com. Okay, here we go to the Golden Truth Tickets Dude Maker Winner Hotline. Caller number 4. Number 4, who's this?
This is Ann Dolan.
Ann Dolan is the big winner today. That says she's allowed to win it because I hear her getting instructions in the background from her husband.
Michael.
That's right. I'm not getting my hands on it.
He's sitting there and he's plotting it. He goes, what happens if she wins and she tries to fly town with it?
That's right. Now there are 3 grandkids, though.
So, Ann Dolan, what would you do with the $52,000?
Well, we are building our house finally.
Oh.
We're in the process, so I would definitely put it towards the house because the price of everything has really gone up since we started this project.
Ann Dolan, congratulations. And I understand that I think you have the secret code word from the Mike Church Show Daily Highlight Reel video of the day. What is it? It is Dead President. You too could be next, our next big winner in the Golden Truth Ticket 2026 at goldentruthticket.com. Thanks for listening and playing.
You want your meat like you want your talk radio, shaken.
Too many free radicals, that's your problem. Too much red meat, too many dry martinis.
Not stirred.
Then I shall cut out the white bread.
The KingDude is serving up heaping helpings of 100% US RWD, white anger red meat talk. Who's hungry?
How you doing? Welcome to Monday. It's Mike Church Show here on the Ethics in Broadcasting Network. Your home for the 2026 Win a Pound of Gold. That is 12 American Eagle gold coins at winapoundofgold.com. Get your ticket today. It's a mere $50. It is basically a contribution to the Crusade Radio Guild, Mike Church Show, and Sensus Fidelium. Steve's got a nonprofit as well, as we both try to keep doing what it is that we do. And for those of you that are new listeners, you don't know this because you just started listening to us last week, maybe. We're always doing fundraisers. The Mike Church Show and the Ethics and Broadcasting Network does not have enough paid subscribers to survive. So we founded the nonprofit, and we do fundraisers to make up the difference to keep this professional outfit going at least 3.5 hours per day. And then the radio station, the Crusade channel, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's an expensive thing to run. So when you buy a ticket, it's not just me saying, hey, will you donate $50 to the Crusade Radio Guild? It's me saying, but let me give you a chance to win the bourbon basket, a pound of silver, a pound of gold. And $500 worth of ammo is one of the prizes that we've added that a very generous donor has donated. So just a little bit more about, well, why should I? Well, you should trust us, and you should trust Chris Payne, who won the gold last year, and he's on video twice now saying, hey, here is my gold. So get your tickets today. Get a lot of them at winapoundofgold.com. Okay. Couple of things that I want to hit on here in this segment. Let's check oil prices today. We've been doing this every day since March the 3rd. So, West Texas Intermediate crude is $80.17. Now, somebody should ask the question. Go ahead, ask the question. No, you go ahead. What's the question, dude? The question is, why isn't it back at $57 where it was on February 28th? Well, that's a good question. Should we say that many people don't believe that this is actually going to come to fruition and they're hedging their bet? So I would expect that if the deal is signed on Friday and the Strait of Hormuz reopens, that WTI crude would drop down somewhere around $65 or $70 a barrel. It is summer, after all, so summer driving season. It's a relief. Be thankful for the little things in life. So from the high water mark was $109 a barrel. $109. I think it actually hit $110, down to $80 today. It's lost basically 6% today, just today alone. Brent crude is at $82.87, so just relaying the spot prices of oil. It's a good thing. Maybe now we can get back to at least pretending like we're going to try and make America great again. That's one thing. Secondly, this is a headline from just a few moments ago. Iran offers 60-day toll-free Hormuz transit as hundreds of ships await reopening. The U.S. and Iran reached an interim agreement to reopen Strait of Hormuz on Sunday evening, just 30 minutes before the New York futures open, with officials from both countries set to meet in Switzerland on Friday to formally sign the peace deal. And again, J.D. Vance will be signing the deal. And as I said earlier, he can. Because he is an officer of the government of the United States. According to the Iranian news outlet FARS, it's F-A-R-S, the U.S.-Iran deal reportedly includes a 60-day toll-free window for sailing vessels. After that period, if a more permanent deal is agreed upon, Tehran may seek to monetize the Hormuz checkpoint by charging commercial vessels for services tied to safety, navigation, environmental protection, and insurance.
So now there's going to be a toll.
So now there's going to be a toll where there wasn't a toll before.
Just makes no sense.
It's bizarro world. The Iranians ain't going to have a nuke. They're never going to have a never, as Chris Tucker would say, never, ever. Got to have a nuke. They're not going to have one. They weren't going to have one before. Now, Maggie, is this today or is this yesterday?
On what?
The Beirut attack. I think that's yesterday.
That was 17 hours.
Okay, it was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
This morning, and remember me telling you, look, the Iranians are going to try, the Israelis are going to try to derail this. They don't want this. They want Iran removed from the face of the earth. Persia. Ancient Persia. That's what Iran is. This morning's attack on Beirut should not have happened, says Trump, particularly on a special day when we are so close to a peace deal with Iran. So the Iranians were trying to torpedo the damn thing yesterday by, again, bombing southern Lebanon. There should be no more attacks by Israel anywhere in Lebanon, but there should also be no more attacks by any other party, including Hezbollah, against Israel. This could be the beginning of a long and beautiful peace. Let's not blow it, says Trump. The signing ceremony will be held on June the 19th. This is from the Epic Times. The peace deal twixt the U.S. and Iran has been reached. I'm just recapping the details. Congratulations to all. I hereby fully authorize the toll-free opening of the Strait of Hormuz. Well, what if the Iranians go like, yeah, it's not going to be toll-free anymore? And you're not going to be controlling who goes in and who goes in, who gets in and who gets out. That will still be us. Something else that you got to keep an eye on here, and this just can't fix it. It just can't fix itself. Remember, there is infrastructure, natural gas producing infrastructure in the United Arab Emirates and in the country of Qatar, and I think in Oman as well, that were either damaged or destroyed. And about half of the world's natural gas derivatives, urea is a primary one. It's in this crap that they call DEF that you have to forcibly put into your diesel engines. About half of the planet's DEF or urea, the urea is the primary ingredient. Now, you can get it. You can get urea. If you want to go around in cow pastures and pick up cow patties, or if you want to directly capture cows, going number one, there's urea in that, but you also get it from natural gas. That's not going to come back online immediately. So things that come from natural gas, anything that's a derivative of natural gas, including urea, I saw an estimate back in April when we did the story. Dude was saying 3 to 4 years to get it back. So some of this damage has been done by this absolute foolishness, stupidity that has been that has been the result of the Israeli war that the United States foolishly and stupidly joined against Iran. Some of these damages just everybody thinks you're just going to go back to normal. You can't just go back to normal. Hey, you know, by that reminds me. I finally finished watching Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan Ghost War. You know, one thing that was the takeaway from this, I'm going to review it on Cinema Critique this Friday. That's French for a film critic's view during movie reviews this Friday. And I'm not going to review it right now. I'm just going to pass. This is just an observation. So they filmed, I say about half of the movie in Dubai. So when you think of Arabia, you think of Saudi Arabia, or you think of the Middle East, you think Lawrence, you think Lawrence of Arabia. You think giant deserts with camels going across, and occasionally there's an oil derrick out in the middle of nowhere, and there's some giant sheik tent. You don't think of the city of Dubai. So they have exterior scenes in Jack Ryan Ghost War where they show you the exterior, the long-range like panoramas of what the skyline of Dubai looks like. It's massive. I don't know. I don't know what's inside all of those high-rise buildings, those skyscrapers. I don't know. Something's going on in there. Now, the reason I bring this up, Dubai is also, in the United Arab Emirates, a tourist destination. It's where Europeans, Asians, some Americans, we're going. They had the ski slope there, and they have things. They have some of the world's finest golf courses. And how did they do that with no water? Well, desalinization plants. And they make movies there. As Ghost War is an example. Is that going to be restored? Who is going to go back to Dubai? I'm just throwing this out there. Who's going to go back to Dubai as a vacation destination? Because that's what the United Arab Emirates were trying to make some of those cities into, and they were largely successful. And they were also luring film companies, hey, why don't you come film in Dubai? Tom Cruise filmed one of the Mission Impossible in Dubai. Is that going to be restored? Or will people go like, I'm not going there, man? What if the Iranians decide that, or what if Trump pulls another Trump and bombs Iran, and the Iranians in retaliation bomb me while I'm staying at at the Bally's Resort in Dubai? How do you restore that? And I don't know the answers to that, but I would imagine that there are literally tens of billions of dollars at stake here, which was the maddening part of the whole thing. It was like, you've dragged the entirety. It seemed like the Arab world was trying to enter the 20th century is the point. And yes, they remained Muslim. But they were trying to enter the 20th century. This is an unforced error. Didn't have to happen. All right, you know what? I'm getting carried away here because I got to play the soundbite of the day. Okay, here is your Golden True Ticket soundbite of the day. When I play this, now this is the first time. So this is what you'll be listening for later on in the broadcast day.
Close. You know, back then, spices were nearly as much as gold.
Why am I not surprised?
I keep too many apps open, remember? I knew you'd figure it out.
Figure what out?
The puzzle in Sam's postcards. So what is it?
Does it matter? I already found the gold.
I don't see any gold.
Oh, it's here. It's a false top. It's called pirate trick. Here's your gold you've been looking for. You happy now?
Holy shit. You gotta be kidding me. Well, look at that, huh? So much more than we thought.
Plus the other ship, plus the value of the ships themselves, which you can't even put a price on. We did it! We actually did it!
Sully, we didn't do anything. Okay, there is no we. There's only you. Because there's not a person in your life that you wouldn't betray for a piece of this. You made that real clear.
I thought that's what we wanted.
No, I wanted to do this with my brother Sam. Not with you.
I know. I'm sorry. Well, look around, kid. You did this. He'd be proud of you.
Okay, so that's the Mark Wahlberg movie, Uncharted, if you didn't catch that. And if you don't know where the gold was hidden, they turned it into a Ferrari. They were looking at a car going like, wait a minute. All right, so Maggie's going to spin the wheel and tell us what caller number.
It can't be. It said one, but that's bull. This wheel is not random.
All right, Maggie's spinning her wheel. And caller number...
It can't be random.
Are you getting number 1?
It was 1 and 8.
And number 8. Maybe you need to refresh and dump your cookies and everything.
1, I'm going to take out 7. I'm going to take out 8.
All right, we're spinning again because we keep getting the same number.
Your random wheel stinks.
Well, it's a computer. It's a digitized.
Caller number 3.
All right, number 3. Caller number 3. 844-527-8723. Ain't live radio and TV fun? Because you never know what's going to happen. Okay. Rod Dreher has a piece out today. I said we're going to talk more about this as we get underway. All about, of course, I had it open, and now I don't have it open because here it is. Disclosure Day, a Gnostic reenchantment tale. Spielberg alien film is only okay, but it's important and it's something close to evil. By the way, I had a friend of mine. He was telling me that he smells a rat here about the whole thing, and that this is just too close to the release of the UFO files. How is it that you could go online? Somebody was actually doing this. You know, you can buy your movie tickets online now. So how is it that you could go online Friday, say, and if you wanted to get in one of those theaters that has the reclining chair, leather chair seating, like at Movie Tavern or Marcus Theaters, just an example, the one that's near here, wherever you live, I'm sure you have something similar. You could, you reserve your seat, right? You buy it in advance. Well, why is it that people were going to see if Disclosure Day was sold out? And at every the theaters that were being looked at, and at various showtimes during the day, they were showing that there were a lot of seats that were available. Well, then, how did it supposedly have such a big, huge opening weekend at the box office? Or did it not? Is this just part of a... Here we go again. Is this part of some broader, larger conspiracy? And Dreyer says that, and we'll do this in greater detail next hour here. Steve Cunningham will join us next hour as well, from the founder of Sensus Fidelium. So Dreyer says he saw it. Saturday night I saw Spielberg's Disclosure Day. Reviews have been generally positive. Well, you know why? Because leftards and Satanists are writing their reviews. I'm starting to see a big suburban theater on opening weekend, the first showing Saturday night of a much-hyped Spielberg movie, only half full. See, I'm not buying this. Oh, we had a huge block. What does Drudge say about opening Disclosure Day? Dreyer says it is a profoundly religious film. It is also, I believe, profoundly evil. Nevertheless, I strongly recommend seeing it because it plays like a prophecy of the great deception that I believe will sooner or later present itself to us. You need to know this. So, and then he explains it. I'll get into it in some greater detail on tomorrow's program. Dr. Deep State is going to join us, and I'm going to ask Dr. Deep State about this. So I don't want to get into all the details of it, but people that are out there that are looking at this and are talking about it. And we have Frank Wright. Frank's commentary on it I thought was just spot on, as most things that Frank Wright comments on. So what is Spielberg actually trying to do here? What did I tell you on Friday's program? When I was talking with, who was it that called? Someone called, I'm trying to remember who it was. And I said, the war is always against the Catholic Church. It's always against the church. Even when it looks like it's not, it is. Now, this one, it seems to me, because Spielberg in his interviews, and he rambles. You know, he's kind of get that old man kind of, mushy kind of dialogue, like he forgot how to pronounce words. But in his rambling, we played a clip from him last Wednesday or Thursday. In his rambling, this is going to challenge people's faith. And as I said on Friday's program, I do not have to make a decision to get to heaven. I do not have to decide whether or not I believe in little green men. I don't have to do. It's not a dogma. It's not a doctrine. I don't. So I can say, you know what? I kind of enjoy science fiction, and I enjoy science fiction movies with aliens in them. Do I think they're real? I don't think so, but I don't have to make a determination on that and state it as a matter of theological belief. See, what they're trying to do here is They're trying to say, no, you Catholics are going to have to deal with extraterrestrial life. There's just no way around it. And God said that that you were unique and that you were created and that you were that man. That the church says that there is only man and there is no other extraterrestrial life. Actually, I don't want to get into the theology of it again because it goes like this, and then people start getting mad and angry, and why aren't you picking a side? But there is another film out that is equally important for you to see, is my rambling point. It's called The Story of Everything. As a matter of fact, The Story of Everything may be the most important film of the year, might be the most important film of the decade. What's it about? What's the story of everything? It's a bunch of scientists that are interviewed about basically the evolution story and how science tries to explain creation. I'll tell you more when we come back.
Some fun. Yes, we've had our ups and downs. Been down that rocky road, but here we are still around. We thought about someone else, but neither one took the bait. We thought about breaking up. Now we know it's much too late. We are bound by all the rest, like the same phone number, all the same friends, and the same address. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. I am happy to be stuck with you. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. I'm so happy to be stuck with you. 'Cause I can see that you're happy to be stuck with me. We've had our doubts, we never took them seriously, and we've had our ins and outs.
The Crusade Channel, talk radio the way it should be. Broadcasting live from Madisonville, Louisiana, and streaming 24/7 at crusadechannel.com. When you hear the noon bells tolling, it's time for Angelus, brought to you by the Crusade Channel.
One of my favorite books is Jim Collins' Good to Great, and lots of people have benefited from reading it, including me. But few people have read his follow-up book, How the Mighty Fall. Now, over the course of the last 18 years, it's been quite the feat of survival to avoid becoming one of the fallen, but survive we have. And guess what else survived? The world-famous Dude Number t-shirt, which began in 2007. Now, to kick off the relaunch of this elite membership club, we announced a brand new t-shirt design, a brand new certificate of authenticity, and access to numbers that have only recently become available. Here's Jim to tell you how to secure that Dude Number that's unique and special to you.
Just head to mikechurch.com/dude for all things Dude Number, including purchasing your 2026 version of the world-famous Dude Number t-shirt. That's mikechurch.com/dude and join America's morning show, The Mike Church Show, and the Red, White, and Dude Nation's elite membership club. That's mikechurch.com/dude.
I think I'll go to sleep and dream about piles of gold getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Here's a piles and piles of gold fun fact. When making Raiders, Spielberg chose the Golden Ark of the Covenant because he knew audiences wouldn't go, ooh, ah, if Nazis stole a parchment scroll containing a psalm. Now, we don't know where the Lost Ark is, but we do know that Mike Church has 1 troy pound of gold in his safe, and that he's going to give it away on July 2nd, and you don't have to say, ooh, ah, to win it.
Win Mike Church's Pound of Gold. Tickets on sale now exclusively at winapoundofgold.com. Ark of the Covenant sold separately.
Hi, folks, it's Mike Church, founder of Founding Father Films, asking you to learn the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Road to Independence, the movie. The Road to Independence tells the exciting story of the Founding Fathers' struggle to declare independence.
Yes, of course, Mr. Hancock. We, your majesty's faithful subjects of the 13 colonies, on behalf of ourselves and the inhabitants of these colonies, who've appointed us to represent them in General Congress, beg your majesty's gracious attention to this our humble petition.
Mr. Dickinson, powder and artillery are the most...
This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and are packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Road to Independence on DVD and CD. Available now at mikechurch.com/DVD and by calling 844-527-8723. Hey folks, Mike Church here. You know, when I was a little cheerins, I remember loving the old Dunkin' Donuts TV spot. You know, the one with the guy who got up at 3 a.m. mumbling to himself as he went out the door and then back in his front door.
Time to make the donut.
Well, fast forward 46 years, and now I'm the guy waking up at 3 a.m., mumbling to myself as I go in the studio door, then back out. Time to make the radio. I made the radio. I made the radio. But I have a secret weapon the Dunkin' Donut dude didn't have. Mike Church's Capuchin Holy Roast coffee in whole bean or ground. Our fresh, aromatic, gourmet coffee is made from 100% fair trade beans, freshly imported, roasted by my friend Kyle and his daughter at the Abita Roasting Company, then delivered to you so fresh your kitchen will smell like a barista shop. Good. So, whenever you arise to take on the day and listen to the Mike Church Show, do it the Red, White, and Dude Nation way by brewing up a fresh pot of Capuchin Holy Roast or my all-new Capuchin Holy Roast New Orleans blend coffee and chicory at shop.mikechurch.com. Caller number 7, who's this?
Hey, Mike, this is Bart Swar.
Bart Swar, the big winner today. Woohoo! Well, actually, Bart, it kind of stinks to be you because you can't compete for the second free ticket until tomorrow.
I know.
I'm sorry, man.
But I just wanted to make sure, I got, one of the RSTL and an E calls for the first week.
You are a 7-year-long veteran RSTL and an E winner, sir. So,
Yes, sir.
What are you going to do with all that?
Oh, I could use it, pay off some debts and whatnot.
Well, sounds good.
Go a long way.
All right. You too can win a pound of gold free ticket. You just got to listen all day long or go to winniepoundofgold.com. Tune in tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. for the secret gold soundbite of the day. And we'll see you next time. Get your tickets at winniepoundofgold.com.
Membership has its privileges.
American Express was right back in the 1970s. Membership has its privileges, and no membership privilege is greater to a Red, White, and Dude Nation listener than membership in the elite membership club that is the Dude Number. Here's Lee to tell you how to get yours.
That's right, King Dude. Membership does have its privileges. And when it comes to the Dude Number, applying for membership has never been easier. Just head to mikechurch.com/dude to start the membership process. Your unique and one-of-a-kind membership and all the privileges that come with it awaits you. As a member, you'll enjoy private chat groups, VIP privileges to all Mike Church Show events, early access to new Dude-geared store items, and of course, your unique Dude Number.
Dude 1210 reporting all quiet on the Eastern Front.
This is Mike's favorite punching bag, Dude number 13.
Hi, this is Steve. My Dude number is 2112.
Dude number 2004, proud member of the Red, White, and Dude Nation reporting for duty.
Become a part of something bigger than any talk show there is and apply for your Dude Number today at mikechurch.com/dude.
Membership Membership has its privileges.
Call 844-527-8723. Holding a PhD for the KingDude Center for Constitutional Studies is not just an honor, it's a way of life. The Mike Church Show is heard exclusively on the Red, White, and Dude Nation.
So last night, in response, this is so stupid. Last night, in response to the UFC fight that was at the White House, usual suspect leftards. What the hell is, what do they call this stupid thing? Hold on. Rise up and sing out. Rise up and sing out. Now, why they feel that they have to have like counter programming to whatever it is that the White House is doing. The funny thing to me is you guys are the actual entertainers. You're supposed to be good at this. And all you could do is just get a little crotchety old Bette Midler out there to scream at people as she's been doing for what? Since Bush beat Gore back in 2000. And then, of course, you drag De Niro out there. Do I even want to hear this?
Not really, no.
I don't. Mike Churchill here on the Ethics and Broadcasting Network. It is a Monday, and boy, howdy, is it a Monday. But we're happy to have you with us. Our call-in line telephone number is 844-527-8723. We also have J.D. Vance being asked if he's going to run for president and when he's going to make the decision. And then when he says, I'm not going to make a decision, I make most of my decisions like very abruptly here. And I plan for them, and then I make them like the day that they have to be made. I don't make them in advance. And so the guy goes, so, are you going to make a decision? He goes, I just told you. It's crunching audio these days, folks, it's gotten more difficult. Let me just say that to you, but we have a couple of good. We have Frank Wright as well, talking about Spielberg and his movie. Okay, so let me get back to this. The story of everything. If you're going to watch Spielberg's Disclosure Day, and then you're going to get into the nitty-gritty, you're going to talk about the discovery of aliens and that they've been lying about it and covering it up, okay, fine. Everyone knows the drill. It's not like there's any news here. There's a guy that's been talking about this for 30-some-odd years.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay.
Do you understand that?
Turn the freaking frogs gay.
Crap.
Gay.
There's nothing new about this. But as Spielberg has trained his movie making or his former movie making skills, because I don't know that he has any remaining, on Catholicism. Why? Well, because the church is always the target and it is always the enemy. Again, if there's going to be a war against religion, it's going to be against Catholics and Catholicism. That's just the way it is. And I wish people would conform their mind to it. That alone should tell you, Okay, well then, what is the one true church that was founded by Christ so that it would have his imprimatur on it and that people should turn to it for a question like this? You can turn to the church for answers. Any moral question, you turn to the Catholic Church or to the teaching, the perennial teaching of the Catholic Church, and you can get an answer. So if you're going to start a war, and your war is against the truth, well, then you're going to have to fight Catholicism. That's just the way it is. Now, why did I bring the story of everything into this? Okay, the story of everything is, this is an amazing movie. As a matter of fact, let me just look this up real quick, because I bought it. I should have done this in advance, but forgive me. Story of everything. I just wanted to see who the guy that directed it is. Okay, so this is a bunch of scientists that are interviewed, and they're asked questions about the origins of the universe. And then they're asked questions about the origins and the beginning of life. And they get into a discussion. And by the way, the animation in this is just absolutely incredible. It was out in theaters last month, but you could watch it on Amazon now. So you can't rent it. You got to buy it. And I was going to buy it anyway. So just buy it. You can watch it with your kids, especially if you have teenagers that are in science class in government laboratories of indoctrination. Heaven forfend. You should trust your children to government schools. Make them watch that movie. Okay, so as the film goes, they deal with the cosmos first. They do the space stuff. Okay, they talk about the creation, Big Bang, and all that. Then they get, in the latter part of the movie, then they get into the actual building blocks of life. And they don't. Now, the interesting thing is there is no conclusion that is made. The filmmaker, Maggie, who directed this thing? There's no credits on the site. They give no credits. Yeah. And it says that under the synopsis, the story of everything is a cinematic exploration of the cosmos that reveals the hidden hand behind our universe. From the precise laws that govern the stars to the intricate patterns found in every living cell, film traces evidence of intentional design throughout nature. Whether examining distant star-forming clouds or the spiral structure of DNA, we discover a consistent signature woven into the fabric of existence. I think that the most fascinating part of the whole thing, I'm a space NASA Apollo nerd, okay? So I can watch this stuff all day long. So I was looking for I was interested in the space part, but the most fascinating part of the whole film is when they get into the biology. And you have a couple of modern day scientists who are biologists, and some of them are pretty well known. And they basically say, they go through the process, okay, so what actually makes a cell up? Now this just blew me away. I'm going to try to give just one small part of this, and then we'll apply it to everything, to Spielberg's movie, and we'll talk more about that. In the last 60 years, well, actually probably started about 100 years ago, but as more and more was learned about cells, so people took an interest, scientists, these guys called scientists, took an interest in just the singularity of a cell. It doesn't matter what kind of cell it is. Let's just say it's a skin cell, or say it's a blood cell, or whatever. So each individual cell, as they start looking at it under a microscope and then doing experiments on it and trying to say, well, what makes the cell tick? Inside each individual cell is a basically set of instructions. You have to watch the movie. It's too detailed for me a layperson to try to describe this, so I'll try to dumb it down as best I can. What they found and what science now confirms is inside every living cell is a set of instructions. And it is a set of instructions, and they go all the way down to DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. That's what DNA stands for. And they go all the way down to DNA. And there was a dude that made it his life's work who discovered, basically, he formulated the hypothesis, well, there has to be something that's telling these other cells what to do. Like, why is my nose this big? Why are my eyes this color? How is all this formed? It's informed by a very complex set of instructions that are programmed into this stuff called DNA. That's at the root. But did you know that there's something that's even below DNA? There's parts that go into the double helix strand of DNA. And I hope this stuff is not boring, because I found it fascinating. I watched it twice, just so I could talk about it. Inside each individual cell, there's parts, there's little gizmos in there that are working with amino acids that are carrying out the work that has been programmed into the parts of the cell. Here's the most damning thing if you're a Darwinist, or if you're one of these kooks, these quacks, that thinks that there's this thing called evolution. That movie recent science just absolutely eviscerates the evolution model. Because in each individual cell, there are three things that are necessary for a cell to carry out, to do its job. Because each cell has a job, basically. And there are three actions that have to occur inside each one of the actions in a cell. And they're all disconnected. And the two molecular biologists go like, there's no way that the evolution cannot have explained this, because you have to have all three at once for the cell to do what it does. So he said you could not have had the motor here that turns the crankshaft, that turns the gear. And they basically explained it in car mechanic talk. And he said they all three had to come together at the same time. You could not have, this has no purpose other than the motor has no purpose if it's not connected to the crankshaft, and the crankshaft has no singular purpose if it's not connected to the gear. He says, so they work in unison here. And you could not possibly have had the motor evolve. Saying, okay, well, now I just have to sit around here and wait for the crankshaft to evolve. Oh, hey, let's hook up. Oh, then motor and crankshaft are going, hey, dude, what are we doing here? Oh, no, I think we're waiting for their gear. Oh, okay, we're going to wait a billion years. We're going to wait a billion years for the gear to, oh, look, the gear's here. Hey, now we can start doing cell EE stuff, enact all cell EE and stuff. And they go through the process, and they said, no, all three had to be created at once, created. And then they go into the how this works inside of a DNA cell and the parts of DNA. At the end of as you get towards the end of the movie, towards the end of the film, and it's directed by Eric Esau, E-S-A-U, written by Stephen Meyer. And by the way, Meyer is on camera for most of the film. He's kind of like the narrator, but he's an actual scientist. At the end of the film, what you are left with is these scientists saying that the pieces of our known universe, of what you see, the only way they could have come into being or into the existence that you and I know of them is by an intelligent design. And then one of the guys says, look, this is a theistic statement. There's simply no way to avoid it. And he says, why are we trying to avoid it? And then he points to the beauty of how everything works in tandem. And I was listening to my ethics lecture this morning from Brother Francis. And Brother Francis was saying that all things that come together in creation all come together for the benefit of man. God created everything for our use and our benefit. A mountain has no use whatsoever to God. He has there's no utility for God unless it's for a man to sit or stand or look at it from 20 miles or 30 miles, or even maybe you're climbing it, and to marvel at it. That's the purpose of the mountain. Now, they don't do this in the story of everything, but they get really close to it. And when they do the whole just absolute destruction, I mean, it just completely and totally eviscerates the Big Bang, destroys it, in favor of, well, how could it have come about? And why are the things in the cosmos in this order? Why do they go like this? They do not state what the conclusion is, but they lead you and they leave the listener or the viewer with more than enough information of God. And they don't say God. They say designer, intelligent designer. It's the most fascinating film that you will ever watch on this subject here. As a matter of fact, you might want to watch it 3 or 4 times or take notes while you're watching it, so that, especially if you know someone that you're debating, no, man, evolution is real. No, it's not. No, it's not. The story of everything was just absolutely destroyed. I would wonder how someone like Dawkins could watch this, and they talk about Dawkins. How can Richard Dawkins watch this and walk away the rabid, hateful, spiteful, stupid atheist that he is? That's a question to be settled. All right, Mike Churchill here on the Ethics and Broadcasting Network on a Monday. Let me go back to what I was talking about earlier with Dreyer's review of the Spielberg film. You know what, Maggie, I think we should play Frank Wright before we get into it, because I think Frank's explanation of all this is perfect. It's the last cut on the sheet. It's digital media file number 13. So, John Henry Weston asks Frank a question. The question is not on camera. So I think the question has, well, what do you think Spielberg was trying to do with Disclosure Day, Frank? And then here's Frank's answer.
Well, first of all, I would draw readers' and viewers' attention to the now unavoidable fact that I've spent years of my life investigating and reporting and writing about the political technique of the 20th century. Basically, that's the fact that and it is a fact, that we are ruled by make-believe that is manufactured in the mass media and supplied to us for one purpose: to secure the power and profit of the liberal regime. And what this liberal regime is doing in every area of its continuous revolution is attempting to replace our Christian civilization and our Catholic religion and Christianity generally. It comes, therefore, as no surprise that major organs in what you would call mass media cultural production are mobilizing to do precisely that. When we see a video of Steven Spielberg smilingly announcing that this is going to shake the faith of Christians, he seems gleeful about that fact. I would respectfully remind viewers of my own work, which has proven, and that of others, that Steven Spielberg was a member of the Mega Group, which was founded by Jeffrey Epstein's chief sponsor, Les Wexner, in 1991, as a pro-Israel influence group to explicitly capture American politics and culture for the Israel lobby. Steven Spielberg is, in my view, an asset, and basically an operative in cultural warfare. What he's doing here is broadcasting a mass delusion, specifically to destroy the competitor explanation of the Catholic religion and Christianity in general. This is a direct attack on Christ himself and his religion and all those who believe in him, and he seems very pleased about it. I think the idea of extraterrestrial life is, to be charitable about it, an incredibly dubious notion, and in my personal view, is one that is manufactured for the purposes of political power and cultural demoralization by people who are explicitly anti-Christian in their motives and behavior. We should have absolutely no nothing to do with this whatsoever. It isn't a respectable view. It is ridiculous. And by association, you beclown yourself if you take these claims seriously. You have either been paid or hoodwinked into doing so, in my view. And I think you should revise your adherence to this obvious form of cultural anti-Christian propaganda.
So, what he's basically saying is, much of what passes for entertainment in the modern world has been made so that you lose your focus on reality. And reality, of course, what is truth? Truth is conformity of the mind to reality. God is reality. What is reality? Well, we don't know if we have aliens, little green men running around. The good priest will tell us that, no, that's how a demon manifests, the Roswell alien, to make you think that it is. But Frank's point is very well, you should take Frank's point, because Frank's point it has nothing to do with the aliens. It has to do with as Bugs Bunny would say, with the mirage. It's the mirage of things that aren't actually there. And look, I am a sci-fi nerd. So, full disclosure, I enjoy I enjoy reading it. I enjoy watching it. Television shows. I enjoy it, and you are allowed to enjoy fiction. But at the same time, I acknowledge it's fiction. It's purely imaginative, and maybe sometimes it's escapism. There is an entire world out there, though, folks, that they don't want this to be escapism. They want it to be real. They want what it is that they're seeing in science fiction. In science fiction, they want that reality. And if they want that reality, then what reality are they turning their back on? The actual reality of the actual created world that God actually did create for you. So Dreher talks about this, and I've never heard of this book before. Some dude's name is Jacques Vallée. And when you see two E's together and the name is French, it's Vallée. Vallée. Wrote a book called Passport to Magonia. And Dreher says he's a computer scientist by training, for decades a venture capitalist. He got into investigating UAP phenomena many decades ago, in part because he saw a UAP in 1955, but then out of scientific curiosity. He's not a religious believer, but he also could not accept that so many reports of bizarre encounters and sightings, what popular culture construed as aliens, could be made up. Nor could he accept that whatever these things are, that they are creatures from other worlds. He theorizes, he's careful to say that these are only a hypothesis, that whatever it is both a material and non-material phenomenon, one that blurs the lines between science and technology. So he wrote a book called Passport to Magonia. And Vallée argues that this phenomenon, we're going to take a time out, we're going to come back. Steve Cunningham will join us when we come back.
I think I'll go to sleep and dream about piles of gold getting bigger and
$50 at the 17-month mark with his Iran war and MAGA inflation. It's at $4,500. Now, we don't know where the $1,750 price difference went, but we do know that Mike Church has 1 troy pound of gold in his safe and that he's going to give it away on July 2nd. And even if you're a neocon in MAGA clothing, you can still win it.
Win Mike Church's Pound of Gold. Tickets on sale now exclusively at winapoundofgold.com. Reposting Laura Loomer lies forgiven. Pardons sold separately.
The Crusade Channel and the slaves of the Immaculate Heart of Mary's Sisters present the Saint of the Day.
Hello, Crusaders. This is Sister Maria Filomena with your Saint of the Day. Today is the feast of Saint Vitus, who was martyred in the year 303. Saint Vitus, whose name can also be Guido or Guy, G-U-Y, was a child saint. He had been entrusted by his pagan parents to the care of a Catholic nurse, Crescentia, and her husband, Modestus. They secretly baptized him and brought him up as a Catholic. When his father found this out, he used his best endeavors to dissuade his son from the Christian religion, but as he found him persistent in it, he handed him over to Valerian the judge to be whipped. But as he still remained as unshaken as before, he was given back to his father. But while his father was turning over in his mind to what severe discipline to subject him, Vitus, being warned by an angel, fled to another country, Sicily, in company with Modestus and Crescentia, who had brought him up. There he gained great praise for holiness, so that his fame reached Diocletian. The emperor therefore sent for him to deliver his own child that was vexed by a devil. Vitus delivered him, but when the emperor found that with all his gifts he could not bring him to worship the gods, he had the ingratitude to cast him, as well as Modestus and Crescentia, into prison, binding them with fetters. All three, Vitus, Crescentius, and Modestus, are honored by the Catholic Church as saints. Saint Vitus is one of the 14 holy helpers. He is the protector against nervous diseases, epilepsy, and paralysis. He is also the protector against the nervous disorder known as Saint Vitus's dance. It is also the feast of Saint Germaine Cousson, who died in the year 1601. She was the daughter of a poor farmer who lived near Toulouse in France. She was born with a deformed hand and was afflicted with the disease of scrofula. Her mother died when she was an infant. She died when she was only 22 years old. She is beloved in southern France even to this day, especially in the town of Toulouse. This is the town where St. Dominic had been given the rosary in the year 1214 by the Virginal Mother of God. Saints Vitus, Modestus, and Crescentia, and Saint Germaine Cousson, pray for us. Thank you for joining us for this brief summary of the lives of today's saints. Tomorrow's saint is St. John Francis Regis. To access all of our Saint of the Day recordings as podcasts, head to crusadechannel.com/saints. You can learn more about our sisters and contribute to the building of our convent by visiting stphilomenaconvent.org. I'm Sister Maria Filomena, and until next time, God bless and Mary keep you.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-313-7757. 800-313-7757. 800-313-7757. That's 800-313-7757.
Oh man, June is so boring. I wonder if there's anything on the radio here. On June 8th, the Mike Church Show will launch a broadcast contest unlike any other in history. And you'll see why June 2026 won't be just another June.
9938.
Holding a PhD at the KingDude Center for Constitutional Studies. The My Church Show. Delivering over 180 minutes of teleprompter-free entertainment, wisdom, and knowledge every single day.
They don't. I'm just reading the Chiron from CNN this morning. Trump to Axios. Netanyahu has no judgment whatsoever, none. Except that Trump dropped the F-bomb on Axios, apparently. Mike Church here with you. It is a Monday, and you're home for the 2026 Golden Truth Ticket Raffle and Sweepstakes, and we are in partnership this year with our broadcast partner, Sensus Fidelium. That's at Sensus Fidelium on YouTube. And Steve, are you at censusfidelium .us or .com? .com. All right, Steve Cunningham with us, the co-founder or the founder of Sensus Fidelium, and we'll bring Steve into the conversation here. Before we do that, though, get your Golden Truth tickets at winapoundofgold.com. It's WINApoundofgold.com. You know, to tell you the odds of winning today, to tell you what the spot price of gold is or other great prizes. So the bourbon gift set or the rare bourbon gift set is the third prize. The second prize is a pound of silver. There is a $500 gift certificate to the Ammo Depot. So what's going to happen is Kaiser is just basically going to send you a $500 gift card. Go buy all the ammo you want on us if you come in fourth. And then Steve's going to kick in some Sensus Fidelium gift certificates or books or some swag from the bookstore.
Dude, we get to 10,000, I'll give somebody diapers for a year.
I think that's a great idea to begin with. It is too. Diapers for a year.
I'm serious.
Just find somebody. Well, the first hurdle is we got to get to 1,000.
Yes.
So let's get to 1,000, and then we'll talk about 10,000.
Yes.
So one of the things I'm going to come back to my discussion here about Disclosure Day and the aliens and UFOs and all that in just a minute. One of the things that we ran into last year, and we just couldn't believe this. We could not believe that we gave 5 cars away. I gave 3 Kia, the hamster car. What's it? The Soul, Kia Soul. I gave 3 Kia Souls away, 2 Kia Seltos. I had 2 people in 2 of those contests that said, I don't want the car, give me the money. I wrote checks. Or one check for $23,000 or one check for $29,000. I had to cancel checks. So why in God's green earth would we stage a contest to give away gold, which is something that grows in value or at least holds its value? All we did was change the prize. Why would we stage a contest and then risk the reputation of our radio station on it and make it a hoax? Why would I take my 35-year career that I worked my tail off to make a name for myself and to be who I am in the broadcasting world? Why would I put my name on a contest that I'm trying, and for $50, I'm trying to scam $50 out of you? You would not believe. I'm not going to tell you any names, but you would not believe the names, and you know some of them in the Catholic media world that have told us no, it's a scam. It's like, what do you mean it's a scam? I don't want to be involved in a scam. It's not a scam. Absolutely isn't a scam. There's a guy, his name's Chris Payne. I'm not going to tell you what town he's from, but he's from Kentucky. He knows your buddy Keith Jones, as a matter of fact. There's a guy that is out there that has the 12 American Eagle rounds that I sent him last year. And just sent us a video last week of he still has them of him going, see, here they are. You want to see them? Here they are. You were surprised. You were just flabbergasted by this. I'd already been through it with a year. People have accused me of all manner of criminal and suspicious activity and what have you. And I'm like, we're not just asking you, hey, just give us $50 like most of the charlatans are, like the grifters are. I'm not just saying give me $50. I'm giving you a chance to actually win something here. And yes, it is a donation at the end of the day. But we were blown, all of us, all 8 of us involved in the Crusade channel and the Crusade Radio Guild and the Mike Church show last year were just stunned by the amount of people that were, that's a scam, nobody gives away gold. Did you tell Mr. Beast it was a scam when he gave an island away? What about when he gave 10 people a Ferrari? You know, that he actually did that. He drove 10, he gave 10 people. Did anybody accuse Mr. Beast? So I just don't understand, and it's primarily it's a lot of people and our Catholic brothers and sisters in Christ, and think that you and I are scam artists, or that I put you up to this. Apparently I'm the criminal mastermind here.
I had no clue this was going to be the response. I'm 100%. I'm beyond floored. I mean, just the other day, I saw one of the guys in the group write, one of the Catholic guys, and I'm trying not to use any names, like you said, and something said, let me reach out to him and just say, hey man, if you do this, if you help us get to this, I will make. I did the diaper thing. If you help us get to 10 grand, I will make sure that I'll find some family and make sure we get diapers for a year to some struggling family, maybe gas too. I don't know. Help push it around, because apparently nobody watches my channel, even though it's got 400,000 subscribers. And we're getting. I thought this was a scam. What did he say back? Oh, I thought this was a scam. I said, wait a minute, you just typed thank you. Because the group was the person that shall not be named told us, somebody who shall not be named, hey, this is going to be a pay it forward thing. You know, you can ask your people to buy you a ticket and things like that, and be like, oh, that's great. So I thought he was already in. No, he wasn't already in. He was just saying thanks to our guy, to say that, hey, yeah, thanks for thinking about us. Bye-bye. Kind of like we push it aside. Oh, we think that's a scam. Because literally, I'm talking 5 minutes later, like, all right, this is what you got to do. Oh, that's real? Wait. You were convincing me that you thought that was real. So, so it's amazing that people aren't thinking about this. Like you said, everyone's just all about send me money. If you want to ask me a question, you must send me $20 in the super chat.
That's right.
So that I can answer that question, or you don't get asked. You don't get that question answered. I know guys on Facebook or Twitter that you have to pay for their subscription to just message them if you want to ask them, or the Patreon thing. You got to be a patron. I tell people jokingly, say, you know what? If you want to ask me a question, you could pigeon call. You can send a carrier pigeon, email me, whatever.
Carrier pigeon.
You don't have to send me $1 to ask a question. Just ask the question. So yeah, it's amazing that send me money. I'm not going to give you anything for it. Shoot, I might even do less for you. But since I get a big name, I'm going to, just send me more. And I jokingly say that I'm one of the least funded. I hate the word apostolate, but I'm the worst. I'm one of the least funded groups out there. And I'm talking about, I'm up to 3 a.m. doing stuff, putting.
Oh, dude!
Together. People must think I live on a yacht.
Let me interject here because Steve has made me a manager since I was Fidelian for these 30 days here, so he doesn't have to bother with the live broadcast details. So I just do it. I see pages of stuff that's coming up that he's already put. I'm like, good Lord, dude, do you sleep? All the stuff the videos you have scheduled, not the ones that are already published, the ones that you have scheduled, is an impressive list. So, look, we want to talk about some actual stuff here. So I just wanted to give Steve a chance to say that, and then for us together to say, all we're asking for you to do, especially if you're an influencer, I'm not asking you to be a salesman. And you people, all of you, and God bless you and thank you that have bought tickets that are affiliates now, we're not asking you to be salesmen. All I'm asking you to do is take that link and forward it and share it with friends and family. That's it. Let the Win a Pound of Gold site do your talking for you. It's well designed.
The secular guys have been great for me. I've contacted secular guys. Not quite. An anti-Catholic atheist bought 2 tickets right off the bat. Goes, this is a great idea. I don't know why more people don't do it. Let me buy 2. I'll tell my friends.
Well, I think that the real attraction is now that you are an affiliate. So you go winapoundofgold.com, buy your ticket. You're affiliate. It don't cost nothing. Now you don't have to do anything with it if you don't want, but if you want to, then click that little affiliate tab up there, and it'll give you your own personal link. share that on if you have social media or email. You can just email it and say, hey, I bought a ticket. Maybe you want to buy a ticket, or maybe 100 of you get together and all buy a ticket together, or buy 1,000 tickets. And if you win, like a syndicate with lottery tickets, split the 52 grand, or split it. If 12 of you go in for $500 a piece, and you put your money together, and then you increase your chances to winning. But you use your affiliate link, because we're going to give you one free ticket for every 10 that you sell. And if you get to 20 sold, then you go up to 20%. Now you get one ticket for every 5 that you sell. So that's how you do it, and that's how I think the affiliate part of it is what makes it totally different than any other game or anyone that's asking you for a donation. He's got a nonprofit, 501c3. I have a nonprofit, 501c3. You need that little piece of paper at the end of the year? Send me a note. I'll send it to you. And yes, you can write it off as a donation. But winapoundofgold.com is the site, and it is real, and you really are going to win. Somebody is going to win a pound of gold. It's true. So
I bought a pound of gold ticket last year just because of the idea of, it's $50. Why not? It's I got a chance to win some gold. Sure, I'll throw $50 in.
Now, tell me what's going on in South Carolina. I know you're not technically in South Carolina, but how does Lindsey Graham sashay to such an easy victory? It just has to be name recognition.
It is.
The people of South Carolina can't possibly think that Lindsey Graham and his warmongering neoconism actually represents people in South Carolina.
I would say I didn't get to see who the ages on it, but I want to say it was kind of like a Massey type deal. The boomer generation went out and did it. The Fox News boomer factor of what went in, because ain't nobody under the age of 40, 50 that goes to say, yeah, you know what? I like that Graham guy. Ain't nobody saying that. So yeah, I would say it's the boomer thing. I mean, just you see, because he's out there just trashing Mark. And I mean, I remember back when I was living in Spartanburg. I mean, I'm literally like Carowinds, so it's right down the street, South Carolina.
Right.
So I'm right on the border, and I keep up with a lot of what's going on down there, anyways. But there was a guy, I can't remember his name back. This was like 15, 20 years ago. He was a conservative. He was an actual conservative, but he had the letter D next to his name. So Graham beat him badly. And it was just one of those, we were joking saying, if Christ ran on the ticket.
I can tell you who it was. It was Fritz Hollings.
Yes. And if Satan had an R next to his name and Christ had a D, people would vote for Satan just because he had an R next to his name. Now, in this case, there was already 2 R's, but now you had money coming outside, and we've probably talked about this many times. The problem with the senators used to be it was supposed to be for the state. Then you had the amendment come in. Now it's a popular vote. Now people from outside states are sending in money. I was even against the Massey thing in the sense of, hey, if we, as on our side, is sending money to Massey, we're doing the same thing that the bad guys are doing. We should be sending money to Massey because we don't live in Massey's group. But the whole thing, the whole centralization of everything just going in, now it's popular from New York is sending money to the guy against your guy. And I guarantee Graham got money from outside influences, and then he obviously had Fox, push him. So what does Fox News has to do with senator elections? I thought it was for state elections, not for Fox News elections. And then obviously Trump had his back and, promoting him. I love Lindsey Graham. What? Where's the little, he tried baby on the Nickel what? Against this guy 8 years ago? But
Nickel what? Well, now you have the, okay, so now that so Graham has won, which means he's basically going to win re-election. So you have that. But now you also have the specter that Graham and the neocons did not want this ceasefire, this agreement that they're going to sign in Switzerland on Friday. They didn't want it. As a matter of fact, the Israelis have 4 days to derail it, and they're going to be working all 4 days to try and derail it. They don't want it.
I bet $50 golden tooth ticket they will.
I'll bet you too. Now, did they get away with it? I don't know. but the politics of what is happening in the U.S. Senate and what's going on in the House of Representatives, and even in the State House of South Carolina, Nancy Mace runs for governor. Now, I am not a Nancy Mace fan. I met Nancy Mace before she was Nancy Mace. Ron Paul introduced her to me in 2014. Same year I met Thomas Massey at the LPAC conference in Alexandria, Virginia. But at least, to her credit, at least Nancy Mace said, "I'm only going to do 3 terms and I'm out." She did 3 terms. She's out. She goes, "I told you I was only going to do 3 terms. You don't want me as governor? Okay, fine. I'm going back to the private sector. Fine. I'm out." This is not the way this Congress doesn't work like this. And not to say that Nancy Mace was a great member of Congress, but her voting record was okay. We're $39 trillion at $40 trillion in debt. If the state of South Carolina, if Lindsey Graham was President Graham of South Carolina, President Graham would not survive a draft of South Carolina's sons and daughters to go fight a war for Mossad in the Middle East. It wouldn't happen. Name your state. And it didn't even have to be a southern state. So, and if people would think of it in that term, if they think of, well, would your state go and fight for Ukraine? No. If your governor said, "I'm doing a draft and we're sending 18 to 30-year-old males to Ukraine to go to fight the Russians," you'd say no. You'd be like, "None of my business."
Riot on the state grounds.
Exactly. So then why? But if Congress is threatening it, or if troops are being deployed because the president thinks it's a good idea, this is just absolute. The disconnect here is just so profound that we have to get people to start thinking local. Well, for your first government is your kitchen table. You got 4 kids and a wife. That's your first government. You're president. Your wife's vice president, even though she has veto power. She
uses it a lot.
Yes, she uses it a lot. This is the first government. If the Cunninghams can't do something, okay, maybe I have to go to the town council. Maybe. And you go to the town council and you go like, "It's too big for us. Maybe we can't do it." Okay. Maybe then I have to go to the county. And the county says, "No, we can't do it," in the rare instance that they could. And then maybe you have to go to the state. Under almost no circumstance, unless it is literally a war against a foreign nation, can you think of something that a federal entity over those 4 layers I just mentioned would do. How do we communicate this to people? I've been trying for 20 years.
I'm right. And you converted me. Don Livingston, you guys are right up on fixing my mind out of neoconism and giantism, as Bill Kaufman calls it. Marshall DeRosa has a thing on the Abbeville Institute for about 8 years ago. I think it's called what is it? Something about the Confederate Constitution. I can't remember the exact title of it. Confederate Constitution and Rule of Law.
Yes,
lecture.
I've read it.
And at the end of it, at the end of his lecture, he mentions that, what happens at get back to the local and state, because we're armed and we know where they live. And when I tell people that, you remember the Brad Burtzer book about Charles Carroll Carrollton?
Yes. American Cicero.
Yeah, the American Cicero. There's a cool story about some kind of bill that they were going through, and Charles led a revolt to it. They took a coffin, put the bill in it, tied it to the tree, and then shot it all night, and then left the coffin for the people.
Oh, they buried it. No, they buried it after they hung it.
Yeah,
they hanged the coffin in effigy, and then they buried it.
He got the message.
He did get the message,
but people like said, how do you get it? I mean, I've been trying to use what you've said, and Livingston has said, McClanahan, all those guys, and it's hard to push through that. Like the consecration that came through, the bishops thing, and everyone's all jacked about they're doing our nation, I'm going, Yeah, the One Nation myth, guys. What are you talking about, One Nation myth? Just to bring that up is so, people get so twerked about that.
Well, they get upset.
Oh,
they get angry.
You can say anything you want about the faith. Even you can tell a Catholic anything you want about the faith. You tell a Christian, Protestant, anything you want. You mentioned the One Nation myth. They all in unison put out the pitchforks and get the tar and feather ready. It's one of those. And I don't know how to overcome it besides just trying to keep.
And the thing is, for a Catholic, because we're not teaching subsidiarity.
Yeah.
This is the basic principle of Catholicism and of Catholic thought. Certainly from the ages of faith and from old Europe, but it was practiced elsewhere. It was practiced here in the United States. Where did they get it from? They got it from the church. How did Louisiana was a French Catholic colony? Did you know you could not move to the Louisiana colony unless you were a Catholic until 1791, where Governor Muir convinced the council that they should change that so Irish Protestants could actually immigrate to the U.S. You know what, Steve? We're out of time. Half an hour goes fast. Get your Golden Truth tickets at winapoundofgold.com. And if you're a Sense of Fidelium watcher, actually watch the channel from time to time. All right, buddy.
If you don't buy this ticket out, this little bunny dies.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next time. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a quick time out and come right back here. I'm going to get back to the Dreher piece. Don't you worry.
In a world more and more infiltrated with fake news, AI-generated slop-ola, isn't it great knowing that Crusade Channel News is still researched, written, and performed by actual humans? Hey, what are you doing in here? Oh no. Get your hands off of me. You chipped my chip.
Boys, break it up. Jeez. Catch Crusade Channel News weekday mornings on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and podcast radio the way it should be.
No AI was harmed in the making of this radio content, but we hope to next time.
Hi, folks. It's Mike Church, founder of Founding Father Films, asking you to learn the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Road to Independence, the movie. The Road to Independence tells the exciting story of the Founding Fathers' struggle to declare independence. Notice the reference Jefferson makes here to our federal connection, which in this instance is viewed by the sage of Monticello as an impediment to true independence. This supports Jefferson and later Madison's view that the federal system created by the Constitution contained the elements needed to endanger the hard. This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and are packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Road to Independence on DVD and CD. Available now at mikechurch.com/DVD and by calling 844-527-8723.
You're listening to the Crusade Channel, a Black Hat Studios media property, broadcasting live 24/7 from Madisonville, Louisiana, and to the world via CrusadeChannel.com. We don't know where D.B. Cooper or Cocaine Bear hid their money, but we do know there's a pound of gold in Mike Church's studio, and all you have to do to win is listen for the golden sound of the day. Weekday mornings at 6 a.m. on The Mike Church Show at MikeChurchShow.com and on YouTube at Real KingDude. Mike Church Show News. News you can trust.
Because let's face it, the truth just sounds different, like a symphony of facts.
And now, here's Janet Huxley.
Hello, Red, White, and Dude Nation. Welcome to Monday, June the 15th, 2026. I'm Janet Huxley at the Mike Church Show News Desk, live from the ranch in Kansas City. This report is brought to you by the Golden Truth Ticket Sweepstakes. Get your gold fruit tickets today at winapoundofgold.com. Here's what to listen for this hour. UFC Freedom 250 card draws thousands to D.C. on Trump's 80th. Trump says peace pact reached with Iran. 11 skydivers and 1 pilot killed in Missouri plane crash near airport. Children's pool toy recalled for impalement concern, and World Cup like 78 Super Bowls in 38 days. Thousands of UFC fans, left-wing protesters, and supporters of President Trump descended on the White House yesterday as the commander-in-chief prepared to celebrate his 80th birthday with a 7-fight event on the South Lawn. Trump and about 4,000 ticketed guests have reserved seats in the custom-made Claw, which is a steel lighting, camera, and tarp overhang that dwarfs the adjacent executive mansion. There are up to 120,000 ticketed guests that will be able to watch the contests on the ellipse to the south. Mixed martial arts fans rush toward checkpoints to enter the watch party while chanting USA, USA ahead of the first bout at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Protesters manned porta potties and invited passersby to wish the president a crappy birthday. The U.S. and Iran have reached a peace deal to end their 3.5-month-old war, President Trump announced on Sunday. The Strait of Hormuz, which carries 20% of the world's oil, is set to reopen on Friday when a deal is signed in Switzerland, officials said. The deal with the Islamic Republic of Iran is now complete, he wrote on Truth Social. Congratulations to all. I hereby fully authorize the toll-free opening of the Strait of Hormuz and simultaneously herewith authorize the immediate removal of the United States naval blockade. Ships of the world, start your engines. Let the oil flow. The signing will launch a 60-day negotiating process to determine the fate of Iran's nuclear program and sanctions relief, according to officials. Missouri authorities announced yesterday that 12 people were killed in a plane crash in a mass casualty event that left everyone on board dead. Sources told Fox News Kansas City that 11 of the victims were skydivers. The 12th was the pilot. The crash happened near Butler Memorial Airport, about 65 miles south of Kansas City, according to a statement from the Missouri State Highway Patrol on X. It happened when a private plane departing the airport turned around for an unknown reason and crashed near Business Highway 49, according to a spokesperson. Our quote of the day: to fast is to banquet with angels. St. Athanasius. Coming up, a look at lifestyle headlines. You're listening to The Mike Church Show in the Red, White, and Dude Nation.
Membership has its privileges.
American Express was right back in the 1970s. Membership has its privileges, and no membership privilege is greater to a Red, White, and Dude Nation listener than membership in the elite membership club that is the Dude Number. Here's Lee to tell you how to get yours.
That's right, King Dude. Membership does have its privileges. And when it comes to the Dude Number, applying for membership has never been easier. Just head to mikechurch.com/dude to start the membership process. Your unique and one-of-a-kind membership and all the privileges that come with it awaits you. As a member, you'll enjoy private chat groups, VIP privileges to all Mike Church Show events, early access to new Dude-geared store items, and of course, your unique Dude Number.
Dude 1210 reporting all quiet on the Eastern Front.
This is Mike's favorite punching bag, Dude number 13.
Hi, this is Steve. My dude number is 2112.
Dude number 2004, proud member of the Red, White, and Dude Nation, reporting for duty.
Become a part of something bigger than any talk show there is and apply for your Dude Number today at mikechurch.com/dude.
Membership has its privileges.
You can learn all about today's Saint of the Day in the Saint of the Day podcast from the Slaves to the Immaculate Heart Sisters. It can be listened to or downloaded at crusadechannel.com/saint. Now look at more lifestyle headlines. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission recalled about 254,000 Sloosh brand children's poi tools imported from China, citing a violation of the federal ban on rigid dive sticks that pose an impalement hazard to children in shallow water. In a related recall, approximately 595 Huoto pool drain covers sold through Amazon were recalled for violating the Virginia Graham-Baker Act, as they lack required markings and instructions, creating entrapment and drowning hazards. These recalls highlight a persistent regulatory failure with Chinese manufactured goods, which are produced under lax standards, leading to contamination and safety defects, as proven by past recalls of toxic aquadots and lead-painted Mattel toys. The CPSC's delayed action, allowing the pool toys to be sold for nearly 7 years before intervention, demonstrates that corporate negligence and profit-driven production overseas leave American parents to bear the burden of protecting their children, writes Natural News. The United States is prepared to safely host the 2026 FIFA World Cup despite the massive security demands associated with welcoming visitors, millions of them from other countries, Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullins said on Sunday. Federal officials aren't tracking any specific threats against the tournament, but they know that there are safety concerns. England arrived here in Kansas City on Saturday morning after flying from their pre-World Cup base in Florida, and Dan Ashworth, the chief football officer for the Football Association, and Kansas City Mayor Quinton Lucas were among the 600 or so in attendance. There were about 150 media members on hand too, and Nico O'Reilly, a defender for the powerhouse Manchester City, was impressed with the turnout, telling the Kansas City Star, "I was a bit surprised, really. I didn't know it was going to be an open session like this until we got here. The fans have been amazing, very loud, and cheered us on. They've been great." I'm Janet Huxley for the Mike Church Show in the Red, White, and Dude Nation, because ethics in broadcasting matters.
I think I'll go to sleep and dream about piles of gold getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Here's a piles and piles of gold fun fact. In 1971, if D.B. Cooper had jumped out of an airplane with $200,000 worth of gold instead of U.S. currency, he would have $25.4 million in gold bullion today. Now, we don't know where D.B. Cooper's money is, but we do know that Mike Church has 1 troy pound of gold in his safe and that he's going to give it away on July 2nd. And you don't have to jump out of an airplane to win it.
Win Mike Church's Pound of Gold. Tickets on sale now exclusively at winapoundofgold.com. D.B. Cooper and Cocaine Bear parachutes sold separately.
Okay, here we go to the Golden Truth Tickets Dude Maker Winner Hotline. Caller number 4. Number 4, who's this?
This is Ann Dolan.
Ann Dolan is the big winner today. That says she's allowed to win it because I hear her getting instructions in the background from her husband.
Michael.
That's right. I'm not getting my hands on it.
He's sitting there and he's plotting it. He goes, what happens if she wins and she tries to fly town with it?
That's right. Now there are 3 grandkids, though.
So, Ann Dolan, what would you do with the $52,000?
Well, we are building our house finally.
Oh.
We're in the process, so I would definitely put it towards the house because the price of everything has really gone up since we started this project.
Ann Dolan, congratulations. And I understand that I think you have the secret code word from the Mike Church Show Daily Highlight Reel video of the day. What is it? It is Dead President. You too could be next, our next big winner in the Golden Truth Ticket 2026 at goldentruthticket.com. Thanks for listening and playing.
Most Crusade Channel wannabes only get the mission half right.
Men, you are about to embark on a great crusade to stamp out runaway decency in the West.
So why settle for half-baked radio hacks crusading in mono when you can get the real deal on the Mike Church Show?
Now go do that voodoo that you do so well.
In stereo. The Mike Church Show's Great Crusade is on the Veritas Radio Network's Crusade.
The future prosperity of this nation rests chiefly in trade. Trade depends, among other things, on the willingness of other nations to lend us money.
And how would you propose to establish international credit?
Our first step would be to incur a national debt. The greater the debt, the greater the credit.
If the states are indebted to a central authority, it increases the power of the central government.
You have it exactly. The greater the government's responsibility, the greater its authority.
The moneyed interest in this country is all in the north, so the wealth and power would inevitably be concentrated there in the federal government, to the expense of the south.
If that is the case, it is unavoidable if the Union is to be preserved.
I fear our revolution will have been in vain if a Virginia farmer is to be held in hock to a New York stock jobber, who in turn is in hock to a London banker.
Shake up the picture, the rays of the mixture with the dance on the eventide.
answers, all of which I deny. I said it again, but could I please rephrase it? Maybe I can catch your eye. I couldn't really put it much plainer, but I'll wait till you decide. Sending you warning silent, as if I could ever hide. Last time I learned I light my torch and wave it for the new moon on Monday, under 5 days through the night. I stayed the cold day with a lonely satellite.
Did you see that there was an FDA recall of Alfredo sauce? FDA issues highest risk recall for Alfredo sauce sold in 41 states. So, mark the date. It's June 15th. It is 8:12 a.m. Central Standard Time. And for the third time in the last decade, I'm going to agree with Shafo 13 and say, make your own darn Alfredo sauce. It's not that hard. Just buying canned Alfredo. What's in Alfredo sauce? That's just heavy cream, right?
I just make a cream sauce.
You should make a look. Well, you know, the problem is you can't get heavy cream anymore. You get this carrageenan crap that they serve you. And it's go, ooh, it's heavy whipping cream. It's heavy crap cream is what it is. There's no cream in it. Now, we're lucky here. I have two places I can now buy 40% or 38% milk fat heavy cream. So you get that. You put a cup of it in a saucepan. Put it on medium. I'll give you a cooking with a KingDude tip. Put it on medium and let that just sit there and gently simmer. Simmer down. Simmer. Let it simmer for about 30 minutes. And you'll reduce that by about a third. And you got a cream sauce. Then you can add cheese, mozzarella, or well, mozzarella is too bland. Parmesan or whatever. It'll melt into the sauce, a little salt and pepper, and bammo, you got an Alfredo. He's right. It's not that hard. What if I want it thicker? Well, then make a roux. But you need a roux spoon from the Louisiana merch tab. That reminds me, Father's Day. This portion of the program brought to you by Father's Day Extravaganza Sale. Unlike any other sale we've ever had, it's still on today. So, ladies, you can go shop today. I'm your Huckleberry. I'll bring your box to the post office today to make sure your hubby gets it in time, or your son, or your grandpa, or Uncle Bobo. Buy 2 bags of any coffee in the Dude Gear store for Dad. 2 bags. Maybe they're for you. And we will throw in a bottle of Beast and Butt Rub for free. Don't cost nothing.
0.0.
And if your order is over $50 or $70, your shipping is free. So shop with us today. Does Dad have a favorite coffee? Well, we have it in stock. Does he have a favorite one of my Manchippy and Maria cigars? We have them in stock. You know what? But that stock is small. So order today. Shop.mikechurch.com. I saw you got some new copies of the New Orleans cocktail book.
Correct.
What's it called? Crescent City. It's an awesome little book. It's in the Louisiana merch tab. Right along the cigars. Here, I'll show you a great gift for Dad, ladies, since I have to do all the thinking around here. I love this shirt. I've been wearing... I'm on my second one now because I got the first one dirty. It green screened it out. Hold on.
Let's get rid of the green screen. And go.
Mike Church Show 35th anniversary commemorative T-shirt. It really does look really, really cool. Get you one. It'd be a great gift for Dad. Shop.mikechurch.com. 2 bags of coffee. Get you a free bottle of Beast and Butt Rub. Don't cost nothing. But you need to go today, okay? I can get to the post office today, and I can get to the post office tomorrow. And here's the cocktail book. It's the New Orleans cocktail book. It's green screen. Why is everything green?
Oh, good grief.
It's magic. Look at that. How did they do the Invisible Man? I just showed you. Look, it's magic. Oh, no. Go back to green screen. And watch Kitty's abracadabra shazam. No, it's a great little book. Okay. All right, shop.mikechurch.com. Don't forget the proselytize, too. Got the proselytize there, 16 different styles.
Gotta order some more. They have 3 new styles out.
Oh, okay. All right. Disclosure Day and the Iran deal. By the way, did anyone that is listening watch the UFC matches last night? You know, it's funny. We're getting ready to go to bed last night, and I remembered that I had let my rear windows down in my Sorrento to let it air out, because I like to do it from time to time. You know what? It's going to rain tonight. I need to go close the windows. So I go outside, I go to close the window and start the car, and the windows are rolling up, and I get out, and my neighbor Chad is out with his wife Tiffany. And he goes, "Hey, man." I'm like, "Hey, dude." And I was really tired. I just wanted to go in and crash. And he goes, are you watching the UFC from the White House? I went, "I think they had a rain delay or something, didn't they?" And he goes, No, it's on, it's live. And I said, "No, probably not." He goes, and then he goes, "I know that you're not very happy with the White House these days, but I just thought that you might be still watching the fight." So I am assuming then that the neighborhood has discovered that we have a YouTube channel. Now if I could just get them to discover that we're giving a pound of gold away. Gold! Which we have not played the soundbite of the day back. So Rod Dreher's writing about Disclosure Day. He says that the movie is pure evil. He quotes this guy, Jacques Vallier, and from his book, I think this is Messengers of Deception, "I have found disturbing evidence of dangerous sectarian activities linked to totalitarian philosophies. The ease with which journalists and even scientists can be seduced into indiscriminate promotion of such deceptions is staggering. In the context of an academic attitude that rejects any open investigation of paranormal phenomena, such fanatical conversions must be expected. Many people around us today are preparing to greet it with delight, even if that means falling under the control of forces they do not understand. These people are the UFO contactees and the believers in celestial visitation, the followers of the saucer prophets. They can pave the way for dramatic changes." Now, I think that he is talking about what Frank Wright was talking about when John Henry Weston asked him about Disclosure Day and about Spielberg's assault on the Catholic Church and on Catholicism. And I believe that if I can sum this up, people that want to believe in the UAP, UFO phenomena, whatever you want to call it, desperately want a break with the real world.
Who doesn't?
The reality of what is all around us. They want a departure from it because to them it's not good enough. And well, there must be something more. Why must there be something more? Didn't God bless you with enough? And so, because that desire is there, and this has been nurtured throughout the 20th century, by the infatuation with all things science. If something is science-based, well, it must be correct then. The guy's got a white lab coat on, dude, of course. Maybe that's how we should sell golden truth tickets. I should dress up in a white lab coat. Would a scientist lie? But I think if you follow the reasoning here, or kind of the way Frank Wright was describing it, and the way that this guy, Valier, was describing it back in the 60s, basically is then, if you are disposed then, you convince yourself, oh no, the little green men are actually real, and the UAP phenomenon is real. Well, someone that wants to manipulate you, say the government, for example, can use that to their advantage. Or maybe it's not the government. Maybe it's just Satan-worshiping cultists who can then use that to their advantage, as they can win you over to be thinking things that you should not be thinking, and that your Christian mind should go, no, wait a minute, that's wrong. No, that's not right. I don't think that. And then he quotes Valier from 1979. This isolation of knowledge is matched by the failure of other social structures. Here, too, the parallel with ancient Greece is interesting. Now, I skipped the part. Valier says that this is not new. There's literally nothing new under the sun. And he's saying that, or he said in his books, that this goes all the way back to ancient Greece. That there has always been, this isolation of knowledge is matched by the failure of other social structures. Here, too, the parallel with ancient Greece is interesting. In 5 Stages of Greek Religion, Gilbert Murray mentions that in Greece, there was gradual awareness of 2 failures. Now, wait a minute. Before I even go any further, who is Zeus? Who is Zeus? And people are going like, better chart play! The god of Olympus. Said who? The Greeks.
They made movies about it.
Who's Hera? Who's Hercules? Who is Mars? Oh, that's a Roman god. Who is, the list goes on. Those were UFOs. This is a pagan culture. Christ had not yet come. They had not yet received the Old Testament. And so they had very little knowledge of revealed truth of God. And in their pursuit of something higher than them, they elevated these fake deities, Zeus, etc. They elevated them to gods, demigods, whatever you want to call them. In ancient Greek, that was their UFO. It was not real, had nothing to do with reality. Zeus never healed anyone. None of the Greek gods, he did any of the things that the Greeks thought that they did. Now, there may have been some manipulation by demons who did some things to make the Greeks say, oh, no, Zeus actually did this, or Hermes actually did this, or whatever. I think this is the point that he's making. The failure of, he continues, the failure of human government, even when backed by the power of Rome or the wealth of Egypt, and again, the Egyptians, same thing. The nasty critter that has a human body and the head of a bird. That's a UFO. Just think of it as a UFO. Even back with the power of Rome or the wealth of Egypt to achieve a good life for man, and the failure of the great propaganda of Hellenism, in which the long-drawn effort of Greece to educate a corrupt and barbaric world seemed only to lead to the corruption and barbarization of the very ideals which it sought to spread. Under these conditions, so similar to those of the Western world today, in which human government is regarded with suspicion and in which education of the emerging nations by the affluent ones is non-existent, what did the Greeks do? This sense of failure, the progressive loss of hope in the world, in sober calculation and in organized human effort through the Greek, back upon his own soul, upon the pursuit of personal holiness, upon emotions, mysteries, and revelations, upon the comparative neglect of this transitory and imperfect world for the sake of some dream world far off. A dream world far off. That is exactly what the UFO contactees are offering us when they invite us to step into a pleasant mirage to reprogram our consciousness. And then Dreher said, now he's seen the movie, I haven't seen it. He goes, this is precisely what Disclosure Day does. Valier, he was the model for the French scientist in Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, has repeatedly warned over the years that Hollywood has labored for decades to condition the public to accept UAPs, or as we used to say, UFOs, as bearers of peace and salvation. He writes in Messengers, again in 1979, let me summarize my conclusions thus far. UFOs are real. They are physical devices used to affect human consciousness. They may not be from outer space. Their purpose may be to achieve social changes on this planet through a belief system that uses systematic manipulation. See, that's what I was talking about earlier, manipulation of witnesses and contactees, covert use of various sects and cults, control of the channels through which the alleged space messages can make an impact on the public. Close quote. Whether Spielberg intends it or not, Disclosure Day proclaims a new religion, one that displaces Christianity at least. And look, it's not replacing Christianity. Nope. He's replacing Catholicism, trying to. It's not the first time this has been attempted. It's hard to believe that this is an accident. To be charitable, we could assume that Spielberg, no longer able to believe in the God of the Bible and of his Hebrew ancestors, has transferred his hope to aliens. That is the gospel he preaches in this film. And then he says, under the heading, the film's twisting of Christian symbolism and occultism. And again, I'm probably going to run out of time here. So I think that if you review this the way that it has been set up, and think then in terms of if the deep state can manipulate people through all of the other contrivances that it uses. You know, TKD, are you talking about MK Ultra? It doesn't have to be MK Ultra. Something like that. Through the other fantasies that they create. Like, for example, MAGA is a psyop at the end of the day. And a lot of people bought into it. Yours truly for a brief while. Oh, we're going to make America great. Okay, I'm going to give you one more shot, political class. One more. That's it. This Trump guy may actually be able to do it. Well, the bloom is off that particular rose. It's not going to happen. The only way America is going to be made great again is when it's made holy or holier again, if it ever was. So, again, this is a fiction that was sold to manipulate people. Now, you don't have to go very far out on a limb to bring that, so people can understand that. We'll be right back.
We don't know why Trump started a war with Iran, made deals with Roundup, and got Thomas Massey canceled. But we do know there's a pound of gold in Mike Church's studio, and all you have to do to win it is listen for the golden sound of the day. Weekday mornings at 6 a.m. on The Mike Church Show at MikeChurchShow.com and on YouTube at Real King Dude.
Hello, Red, White, and Dude Nation. I'm Janet Huxley at the Mike Church Show News Desk with your crucials for Monday, June 15th, 2026. This report is brought to you by the Golden Truth Ticket Sweepstakes. Get your Gold Fruit tickets today at winapoundofgold.com. In the market report, the Dow closed up again, 0.70%. The S&P was up 0.50%. NASDAQ was up 0.31%. Today is National Smile Power Day. When you smile at someone, you're telling them they're valued and worth the smile that you just gave them. Smiles are morale boosters and confidence builders. And on National Smile Power Day, show your power by sharing a smile with everyone you meet. It's also National Big Boy Day. National Big Boy Day recognizes the iconic double-deck burger and honors the creator of this American culinary delight, Bob Wean. Today we commemorate the founding of Big Boy restaurants. Today is National Megalodon Day. The megalodon swam the Earth's oceans a long time ago, and their mouths spanned 8 to 11 feet wide. They were filled with rows of sharp teeth, apparently. Our quote of the day, to feast is to banquet with angels, Saint Athanasius. You can learn about today's saint in the Saint of the Day podcast, From the Slaves to the Immaculate Heart Sisters, that can be listened to or downloaded at crusadechannel.com/saint. You're listening to The Mike Church Show in the Red, White, and Dude Nation.
Hi, folks. It's Mike Church, founder of Founding Father Films, asking you to learn the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Spirit of 76. The Spirit of 76 details the true story of the writing and ratifying of the U.S. Constitution.
Besides the expenses of maintaining the Senate and other House in as much splendor as they please, there is to be a great and mighty president with very extensive powers, the powers of a king.
This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and is packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Spirit of 76 on a 2 DVD or 3 CD set. Available now at mikechurch.com/DVD and by calling 844-527-8723. This is a pixel. I'm Groot. Now, if you put a couple of million of these guys together, you can make a sentence on an LED screen. Put a couple of billion of them together, and you can make a whole page. Put 360 billion of them, and you got Chesterton's book, Orthodoxy. But it doesn't smell like a book, and it burns teeny little holes in your cornea. So is the pixel really your friend? I'm Groot. No, but the Founders Trading Post is your friend, and we have actual books with actual smelly pages. Plus, our little bookstore has everything you'd expect. I'm Groot. Yes, Groot, to the gourmet coffee, but no to the One Tree Hill sappy guitar music.
Pick up a copy of G.K. Chesterton's Orthodoxy, plus many other Chesterton titles at shop.mikechurch.com.
I think I'll go to sleep and dream about piles of gold getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Here's a piles and piles of gold fun fact. The first gold rush wasn't in California or in Alaska. It was in Dahlonega, Georgia in 1829 and lasted until the last gold mine closed around 1910. Now, some people say that there's still gold in them there Georgia hills. We don't know about that, but we do know that Mike Church has 1 troy pound of gold in his safe, and he's going to give it away to one of you on July 2nd.
Win Mike Church's Pound of Gold. Tickets on sale now exclusively at winapoundofgold.com. Vacation sold separately. You want your favorite talk show shaken.
Do you expect me to talk?
Not stirred.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
The Mike Church Show Bar is serving mega martinis with non-DEI vermouth and a red, white, and Dude Nation olive. And it's always happy hour.
Hi there. I'm on my way, I'm making it. I've got to make it show, yeah. So much larger than life.
Performing this show with 94.9% of my testosterone tied behind my back just to make it fair. In a struggle against single, angry, ugly, UAP-believing cat ladies. Mike Church Show here on a Monday. You're home for the 2026 Win a Pound of Gold contest. Get your tickets today at winapoundofgold.com. Don't be afraid to buy 10 or so. And support the Crusade Radio Guild and Census Fidelium. This is our annual fundraiser, and it's important. So treat it like it's important and go and get your tickets. And then use your affiliate link and share it with your friends and family. So they have a shot. Don't be greedy. Don't corner the market on the tickets. Give everybody a chance to win. Some American Eagle coins. I was looking at those coins over the weekend, and they are as beautiful as they ever have been. So win a pound of gold.com. I'm going to come back to my discussion here about the Disclosure Day. You should all go, though, and read. I think most of what Dreher has written is above the paywall line. Much of what I have been sharing with you is above the paywall line, so I think you should be able to see most of it and read all about. But I just want to continue to just, in a cyclical manner, kind of make that point. That what he's saying here and what the author, Jacques Vallée, or Vallée, is saying here is that you could be manipulated by believing in something like that. And that, once you've given yourself over to it and then you have departed from the safety of reality, which is where God put you, then you could be sold a bill of goods. Look, you should read go read Frank Wright about Henry Luce and about how all this started in the 1915s. Cigarette ads. They convinced people that killing themselves by smoking was a good thing. Literally convinced people, my stepfather included, that smoking yourself to death by inhaling tobacco was a good thing. So a lot to cover there, and we'll come back to it before the end of the program here. All right, let's go to the StreamYard Maker hotline. And we had Jacob on last week, Jacob Engels. Now, I don't know, do I just want to introduce you as a well-dressed cosmopolitan young man, political operative, or are you with the Bofino campaign?
Well, Brother Church, I think first and foremost, I have to let you know how upset I am. As the founder of traditional Roman Catholics for the reinstatement of the Heaven's Gate mission to outer space, I'm extremely offended by what you have said today on the program so far. So we'll get to that later on. But in all seriousness, I think I'll just hit on it real quick. When you say that it's all a mirage, it's all something where we've been made so hopeless, this is a classic cult technique where you feel that your life is so out of control. It's not in your control. You are so hopeless. There is no hope in the world. There's no hope of advancement. There's no hope of romance. There's no hope of anything anywhere.
Right.
So when there's no hope, you've been made to believe that you need to seek something else. And that leads people through Hollywood and the predictive programming and introducing us to things like aliens and UAPs, UFOs, whatever they're called. It constantly changes, but it gives you a form of escapism. Now, normal people who are able to resist this, the escapism is through the Word of God. The escapism is mass. The escapism is volunteering in your community. The escapism is being men and women of action. But they have convinced so many people that the escapism is to toil in the world of otherworldly things because they've been made so hopeless that there's an immediate need for them to get hope. But God doesn't work on our timeline. It's up to Him. So it's really insidious how they do that. They create the hopelessness.
Yep.
They beat it into you. They put it into the bloodstream. They pump you full of psychotropic drugs and chemicals. They harass you on TV, in music, in art, in culture, in your community. And then they provide the immediate solution. I want to believe, something to hope for. And it's right there. And you see? So, and God, I'm not waiting on Him anymore. I want it, and I want it now. Call J.G. Wentworth, 877-CASH now. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. We've been given free will. We've been given the ability to think and to toil in the world of art, politics, culture, literature, but that doesn't give us the right to speed up the man with the mission, the man who gave everything for us. And now we're just going to spit in his face and say, right now, right now,
Yeah, and as I'm hearing this, I'm thinking, wait for it. Oh, the aliens. Oh, did they give you an anal probe? No. They're trying to communicate.
I heard they were nice.
Did you know that they went through 40? I only know this because I have the DVD special edition somewhere. I saw that film as a high schooler in the theater. They went through 43 iterations. John Williams did 43 different sets of notes. And then Spielberg went, that's the one. And they actually picked that one. The French guy in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Spielberg modeled him on the philosopher dude that I'm talking about, Jacques Vallée. Just to kind of tie some of this stuff together. As I said, we'll come back to it in the final segment of the day here. Now, Jacob is here today because you're trying to prevent and you're trying to blow the whistle on this crackpot pinko commie witch named Stephanie Murphy. Saigon Stephanie, as you call her, apparently now wants to become mayor of Orange County, Florida.
Yes. So what's important to know about Stephanie Murphy? Stephanie Murphy...
Well, she was a congressman, first of all. She was in Congress.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she was in Congress, and she got elected to Congress in 2016 as part of that anti-establishment, anti-career politician wave. She ran against long-term Congressman John Micah, head of the Transportation Committee.
I remember John Micah.
And so she comes out of nowhere, and the story is just, it's too good to be true because it was. She's a daughter of immigrants who were found in a boat floating after the fall of Saigon in the middle of the ocean, and then they were picked up. And according to the lore and story of Stephanie Murphy, when they were picked up, they get to Washington, D.C., and they work middle-class jobs, and it's this true just grit and push for the American dream. It's the American dream. It's a story, right? It's a fable is what it is. And the more I dug into it, after she got elected, and I got the first information I used as the basis for my book only about 2 weeks before the general election. And then I start to unpack it, and I talked with Brother Carlson when I published this book about 6 years ago, and I said, does it make sense to you that this immigrant family, who is supposed to have come from modest means, according to the Congresswoman, settled in a neighborhood in Chevy Chase, this is outside the Washington, D.C. area? And he, what neighborhood? And I gave him the neighborhood, and he said, that's a known... If you've seen the show The Americans, okay?
Yes.
It's just like that. It's a known place where they place intelligence assets, foreign or domestic, where they place sources. So that's where she starts. And I call her a deep state Barbie because she goes from floating alone in the ocean, just this poor girl floating alone with her family just floating, and she graduates high school. And what you know, she goes immediately to George Washington for college. Totally not a place that's a clearinghouse for intelligence agencies, or one of the colleges that just about a couple of decades prior stopped their MK Ultra program. But, we could get into that another day. So she goes to George Washington University, and she graduates with, the normal degrees, something I believe, remember correctly, along the lines of public policy or world government and affairs. And then she goes to work at Deloitte, Oh, totally. Again, not part of the intelligence clearinghouse for how you launder individuals through private sector. And then after that, she's working at the State Department, where she was basically a paid intern for a low-level to mid-level bureaucrat. But in the lore of Stephanie Murphy, she gets a picture on one of these like UN helicopters with the goofy helmet and the vest on, and she's like this. So then the implication is that she's some type of veteran when she's campaigning every time for office. And in her bio, Stephanie Murphy helped President Bush lead the response to avian flu.
Oh.
No. But while she's there in D.C., she is able to meet and canoodle with the son of the family that founded Full Sail University, the most profitable private for-profit university in the country. This is ITT Tech and DeVry in a Brioni or Xenia suit, okay? That's all it is. It's for the film industry. You learn all the production and sound and whatever. And out of 1,000 students that graduate each year, one of them eventually works on a film, like could be a gopher getting coffee, or could actually be the editor and they get a Grammy or an Emmy or whatever. And so that's their claim to fame. It's funded almost exclusively by Pell Grants or federally secured loans. Okay. So what they did after Stephanie marries into the family is Stephanie's working for a subsidiary of Full Sail University. And what is she doing, pray tell? She is interacting with governments, intergovernmental affairs, right on the line of lobbying without stepping over the line. So they're already grooming her early on to be around donors, to be around the political class, to engage with governmental agencies. And all the while, this is into Obama's second term, when he actually did something I thought was one of the things that I could agree with Obama, is he started to crack down on these for-profit universities, these diploma mills. And so what did the Haddock family behind Full Sail University do? The Haddock-Murphy family? Pray tell, they started donating gobs of money to Mitt Romney after they'd been one of Obama's biggest boosters in 2008. And then when that plot failed, they narrowly escaped the target of the Obama administration, because then they just opened up more money to the DNC and the DCCC. So then it keeps going. And we get to 2016 and Stephanie Murphy runs for Congress. Out of nowhere, she was an independent that hasn't voted. Now she's registered Democrat. She hops into the race, parachutes down from D.C. or wherever she came from in the middle of the ocean floating so many years ago.
Cinderella girl out of nowhere.
She gets elected. And what is one of the first votes she takes in Congress? Could it be a vote to stop further restrictions on for-profit universities, just like Stepdaddy wanted? Of course it was. So then Stephanie Murphy will bring this to the present. While she's in Congress, she votes with Pelosi near 100% of the time, comes home to the district, and she's America's moderate. You see, she's, in fact, the leader of the Problem Solvers Caucus and the Blue Dog Caucus. It's all packaged very nicely. And COVID comes around, and that's after the false impeachments that she was part of. That's after so many other poor votes. When COVID came around, she argued that we shouldn't be increasing tariffs or investigating China. No. You see, we should be blaming President Trump for creating COVID and releasing it on the American people and actually giving China tax breaks. Why is that important? It's important because her husband's sportswear company that does like those funky stretchy pants for like that go over your football pads or cleats or other sportswear, they manufacture near 100% of their products in a factory in China. In fact, in one of the regions, in China, one of the regions that is the most aggressively controlled by the CCP, according to Business Insider. And this is while she's on the Intelligence Committee, right? This is while she has pillow talk time with her husband, Sean Murphy. And this is while she hasn't disclosed on her financial disclosures that she owns the patents on the 3 most powerful products that her husband sells She said, "Oh, I'm not part of my husband's company." Yes, Stephanie. Yes, we get it. And during the J6 Select Committee, she threatened me openly. She threatened Roger Stone openly. And that's after I published my book, Saigon Stephanie. SaigonStephanie.com is all the information there. And I did a video and I said, "Stephanie, call me. In fact, I'll get on a plane right now. I'll come to D.C. I'd love to talk about the CCP with you in D.C." Well, pray tell, she never mentioned me at that final hearing. Then she decides she's retiring from Congress because I spent weeks just tearing it up on social media. It's all I could talk about. And now I'm so excited to talk about it again with you, Brother Church, because I'm going to publish, after the conclusion of this show, a 87-page Oppo file, a dossier that the NRCC put together that they failed to deploy in 2020 against her. They could have stopped her dead in her tracks.
Why didn't they? I'm reading it. Why didn't they? This is damning.
Well, because the family that she married into donates just about equally as much money to Republicans, the NRCC. And they exist in this ether, this gray area, where they just are so rich and so connected that it really doesn't behoove Republicans to rock the boat too much. And you know where I got the most hate from when I was chasing around Stephanie Murphy and exposing her on live stream?
Saigon Stephanie.
Saigon Stephanie, that's right, excuse me. You know where I got most hate from? It wasn't from Democrats. In fact, the Democrats in their own party, the true progressives, said they hated her because they considered her a traitor, a turncoat. It was hate that I got from the evangelical anti-papist crowd, the Pope haters. They were just so disturbed by the way I was behaving and, and these comments are real. "Jacob, I just don't know how I'm going to go to church this weekend or how I'm going to go to the country club for the Red Hat Society meeting. Because you've just been so aggressive and you're being so mean to Stephanie Murphy. And that's not what Republicans do. We have to rise higher." Really? Now she's going to be mayor of Orange County. The Republican candidate won't publish this oppo. The Republican Party of Florida will not publish this oppo. Chairman Gruters will not publish this oppo. I've given them 3 months. I have tried, and tried once more. And they said, well, it's just really not a hot issue. Really, it's not a hot issue that a Chinese Communist Party controlled asset in this country is going to be in control of a near $400 billion economy in Central Florida and Orange County, the tourist capital of the United States. Some argue the tourist capital of the world. That's not important to call her out. Do you think she's going to stand up to Disney and Universal? No.
Now Jacob Ingles on our Dude Maker hotline here with us on StreamYard. Jacob, isn't this the county that when Ron DeSantis, I think it was in 2020, isn't this the county that they took all the tax breaks and everything away from during the Corona doom when they discovered what Disney was doing? That the state of Florida had given those companies in Orange County. I'm pretty sure it was Orange County. Yeah. And didn't the state revoked all the tax privileges, right?
They did for a time, and this is the same
county. Oh, they're back.
This is the same county where the governor had to remove one of the Orange and Osceola County state's attorney for refusing to enforce death penalty, among other things.
I remember.
That were mandated. This is the county where I joined forces with a lot of the Maha movement to storm the county building in a peaceful way when they were having a vote to continue forced vaccinations of firefighters and first responders and police. This is the county where I had to go to the school board meeting, which was chaired by the former Republican mayor, Teresa Jacobs, and read aloud genderqueer to a room of only adults where I was physically removed by police because it violated decorum.
That was you?
Yes.
I played that soundbite. I played that soundbite. Okay, I just want to give people a quick overview here. Now, this is the same Florida Republican Party that won't allow James Fishback to debate Byron Donalds. The corruption here is God loved the Fishbackers who are just now following Byron Donalds everywhere he goes, bearing signs, why won't you debate Fishback? This is just cowardice and corruption at the highest levels here. I don't know how anyone thinks that you're elevating your candidate by protecting him from actually having to answer questions.
Because you see, Mike.
This is the Biden campaign, though, Jacob. This is he's campaigning. Byron Donalds is campaigning from his basement, basically, a la Joe Biden.
Well, you know, when you get that Miriam Adelson check and you got that big tech money, and you know, you're kind of sitting pretty.
You
and the
are.
arguments I've seen online have been, well, Byron Donalds, according to the rules, Byron Donalds is meeting all the criteria to not have to debate the other candidates. And so he doesn't have to debate the other candidates because his ideas are so good. And that's why he's all ahead in the polls. Well, it's a poll bought and paid for by the Donalds campaign and Donalds donors, number one. Number two, if we're going to use logic here, and maybe some people went to college or at least read books, logical syllogisms, let's just think about it. If your ideas are so great, and everyone else is so awful and evil, I would be begging to debate them left and right, to shoot them down intellectually in public, to make it clear to voters that I'm the one. Come to Papa voters, I'm the one. Not these people, me. But he can't even do that because he knows he'll get his butt rocked. That's just a simple fact. And so, do you see that?
I
wake up, people.
I completely. What's he going to do in a debate against a Democrat? He's going to have to debate it. Is he going to get an exemption from having to debate the Democrat candidate too?
Well, when you have all that money, he can just say, no, you know, watch him if he gets through the primary. Say, oh, I'm not going to dignify David Jolly and Gwen Graham with a debate. I've got bigger things to do, okay? See, they have to live by no rules because they view themselves as a ruling class and royalty. We are not coronating a king. We are not simply shuffling around the royal court. Father, it's my turn to be king. No, Byron. You couldn't even be a state senator and show up. You couldn't be a member of Congress that shows up, except only when it's time to make votes so you can illegally do the stock trades in the background, insider trading. And that's why I'm going to announce right here on the program, it's called NotMyKingFL.com, NotMyKingFL.com. And that's for the Fishback supporters. That's for the supporters of Paul Renner. That's for the supporters of Jay Collins, because it's going to take a unified front, people. James Fishback can't do it all on his own. Jay Collins can't do it all on his own. Paul Renner can't do it all on his own. Unite, demand, and it's called Shut Down the Showdown, the Sunshine Showdown. We're going to shut it down. We'll show up. We'll protest. I'll have people sneak in to the event and buy tickets. And it's going to be called like popcorn. Remember that in class, guys? Where open up your books, somebody read, and then, oh, popcorn, it's Jimmy's turn. That's how it's going to be. So you're going to be having your nice little forum with all the candidates, Byron included, and Byron's going to be talking about how great he is. And then somebody's going to yell out, Byron, why won't you debate? And then they're going to be removed, and 30 seconds later, another one's going to pop up. And you know what? That's peaceful protest, guys. It's called a popcorn protest. I mean, I don't know what else to do. I get frustrated, and I see a lot of outrage and no action. And when I went to Mass yesterday, I just kind of, something connected with me afterwards when I was distilling. And I said, well, maybe it's not that people don't want to follow outrage with action. Maybe it's they don't feel like there's any mechanism. So I put the thesis on the website. There's a contact form. All candidates from every campaign are welcome to have the data. It's not about me. It's about get off our butts, follow the lead of the Fishback campaign, show up, get in their face, because at least by doing that, people are talking about it.
So, notmyking.fl.
No, notmykingfl.com.
Oh, notmykingfl.com. Well, that's a good thing I asked.
Yes.
Okay. I would call her, Stephanie Murphy, I'd call her not the Manchurian candidate, the Manchikian candidate. It's so... the Founding Fathers, and you could just read between the lines of the qualifications to become a member of Congress. And there was an instance where a guy that was from Denmark, Albert Gallatin, was actually removed as a U.S. Senator in the first Congress because he was born in a foreign country and hadn't been in the U.S. long enough to be a naturalized citizen. The Founding Fathers had it in their head that they didn't think it was a good idea for foreigners to move to the new United States and to be able to run for and obtain elected political offices here. And Stephanie Miller is just another one of there's so many of these. And you look at it and go like, how does this happen? There ought to be laws. Fishback is saying that when I'm governor, we're going to pass a law. If you're not a Floridian, you can't be governor. Now, before you go, because I do have to move on. Before you go, sure. I want to just go through this century. Charlie Crist, at least he had political experience and he had leadership experience. Yep. Rick Scott, bazillionaire businessman. You could say whatever you want about Rick, but at least Rick had a list of accomplishments in his life. Lawton Childs, a lifelong member of the Florida Democrat Party ruling elite class. At least he had experience. Ron DeSantis, a couple of terms in Congress, Navy JAG officer, served his country. We're going to forgive him for praying on the wall. But Ron DeSantis, at least he had experience. Barb McDonald has nothing. He's done absolutely nothing.
0.0.
Nothing. There's nothing on the resume.
Well, no. Remember, he was shedding tears for George Floyd and so upset about it and saying horrible things about members of law enforcement. But then he's had a rebirth and he loves law enforcement. So it's almost where we live in this reality, Brother Church, where it is true they're doing nothing, but doing nothing in the form of vacillating between one position point and another, which brings you into this just glob of androgyny politically, where it is nothingness. Everything is nothing and nothing is everything. And that really kind of plays into what you said about Disclosure Day. When everything is nothing and nothing is everything, when everything is legal but nothing is legal at the same time, these are the weird circumstances they create to allow for their behaviors that are so on their face illogical, immoral, unethical, and ungodly, is what I would argue.
And this report, I've been scanning it all morning long since I got it. The Saigon Stephanie report. Anyone that was running against her for any office, there's your opposition research right there. It's already done. You don't have to do anything. All you got to do is buy the ads or debate her and go like, oh, let's talk about the property that you sold for $570,000 that didn't pay any taxes on. How'd you manage that one? There's so much stuff there. It just, the rich the rich get richer, the poor stay poorer.
I'll get off real quick with this and let you get back to normal programming.
This is normal programming. Breaking stories like this is normal programming.
Well, sometimes I'm a little goofy, but
that's normal programming too. Being goofy is normal programming.
Then with that, I hope I'm going to place my order for the cocktail book, and I hope there's a recipe for a good Greyhound in there.
There is.
I'm betting there is. So I'll leave you with this. When I brought this to the Republican candidate, his response was, wow, this is amazing. Would you like to come phone bank for the campaign? And when I was your age, I phone banked for the Goldwater campaign, and then I phone banked for and volunteered for the Ford campaign, and then the Reagan campaign. And in 1992, I got an appointment by George H.W. Bush for 3 months before it turned over to Bill Clinton, and then my life's been just cake from there.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my goodness, people. I'm sorry about that. But I have people calling me. I guess that we're having too much fun on the program. So I have to remember to center myself. I fell asleep last night to Gregorian chant, which I haven't done in a while. And you think putting on This Old Home or Antiques Roadshow will knock you out? Gregorian chant will knock you out in a beautiful, ethereal way. And they have one actually that I found that is geared towards protecting you against demonic elements and spirits. So I'm a little, I guess, wired today and just feeling agape for my brothers and sisters. And I'm just happy to be back on the program, Mike.
All right. So the website is notmykingfl.com. And you can see at Jacob Engels on X. All right, brother. Well, whenever you get something like this, just drop me a line. You have my email address now, and let me know. And you're always welcome. It's always fun. It's always fun to visit.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed your interview with. I'd never heard Roger Stone really speak before. I never, because when he was filling in for Alex Jones, I'm watching him interview you. I'm going like he can like literally campaign, put himself in a crown and a cape like King Charles. He could literally be King Stoic. I'm going. His delivery is so it's just so deadpan.
And with
watch
this
the interviews.
Message, I will be signing off from the Dude Maker hotline. This is Roger Stone.
All right, Jacob. Thanks a lot, buddy. See you soon.
All right. Thank you, Brother Church.
All right. Folks, that will do it for Jacob. I want to get back to, because I've been very excited about talking about all this stuff today, but I had to play a couple of digital media files. So maybe we'll pick this up on tomorrow's program. Okay, all of you Catholics out there, you got to hear digital media file number 2. Well, he's asked about, when you became Christian. Because there was a history of this. And one of the things that you find out is that, okay, well, let him tell the story.
Some of your journey seems to be almost a reaction to your dissatisfaction with modern life, with the way your life was going. You write about, quote, the rat race of meritocracy. You were climbing this ladder, but you somehow didn't feel fulfilled.
Yeah, that's exactly right. In fact, I think that was the fundamental insight that led me to think, well, maybe Christianity has something going for it. Because you think about this, Bob, in 2013, 2014, I'm winning every race that our culture is telling us to win.
The Marine Corps.
I've gone to Yale Law School. I've got a lot of money. I've got a prestigious job. I've got all these things that the culture tells me that I want. But I was not particularly happy. And more importantly, I was thinking, I'm not a particularly good person right now. I'm way too focused on what people think about me, on the prestige of my job, on how much money I make. And that's not good. And I wasn't calling myself a Christian then, but I had enough of a Christian rootedness where I recognized this is not good. You got to be focused on other things. I'd fallen in love with this girl who is now my wife. We were thinking about having a family together. And you start asking yourself, how do I be a good husband? How do I be a good provider? How do I be good at the things that actually matter? And the more that I asked those questions, the more that I felt like Christianity had the best answers. And it's interesting, that really is how it started for me. I didn't have a conversion on the road to Damascus, but I started to see these sort of rays of sunshine, these evidences of truth in Christian teaching. And then I started thinking to myself, well, if the Christians are right about the importance of virtue, and they're right about the importance of being a good father as opposed to how much money you make, and they're right about the importance of being a good husband as opposed to how prestigious your job is, then maybe they're right about these more fundamental questions. Maybe it all comes from a place. And that really is what fundamentally got me on the pathway to where I, became a Christian.
I wish guys like JD that are in that position, I understand, I get it, I know why you do it, would just use the C word. Young man, did you use the C word? Catholic. I understand the ubiquitousness, the ubiquitousness of using Christianity. I get it. I understand it. And that you could be like, what are you saying that Catholics are? No, but he's Catholic. And I think that there is an attempt, I don't think I know, that there is an attempt, because somebody asked me, what's your denomination? Are you a Buddha or Hindu? No, I'm a Catholic. I don't say I'm a Christian, I say I'm a Catholic. No, I could say I am. And I'm not knocking people that say they're Christian. Please do not misunderstand. But when you're part of the mystical body of Christ, then tell people you're part of the mystical body of Christ. As part of your evangelization, you and I are also given the apostolic command. Go out and teach all men of all nations all that I have commanded you. Baptizing in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, right? And I don't think it's true. Look, to his credit, Tracksuit Marco does. He says Catholic. Usually doesn't call himself a Christian, he calls himself a Catholic. So, and I'm not judging anyone by the level of their faith, so please do not misunderstand. I'm simply saying that, and again, it's the use of the term. It's almost like, well, we don't want anyone to really think. No, if you have the cure for the fall, the cure for the fall is the Catholic faith. It's the remedy, literally. The cure for the fall is Catholicism. And that's all I'm just going to say about it. Okay. And then he's actually, are you going to run for, or are you going to run for president? And he hems and he haws and he goes, I'm not going to answer that. And then they go, okay, well, can you tell me where you're leaning in your decision right now? And he goes, I just said I have not made a decision. Number 3. And then he's asked, because you served, does that make you skeptical of war? And he basically says, yeah, I am skeptical of war. He says, I think President Trump is too. I think that Trump, do you have both of them?
Which one do you want?
Well, let's do number 1 first. So he's asked about war.
Did you see yourself as someone who was forged by experience in the Marine Corps, served in uniform? Were you more skeptic of a war in the Middle East, broadly speaking?
Well, I'd say, by the way, I think the president's like this too. I think both of us are generally skeptical of foreign military entanglements. And I certainly was formed by my time in the Marine Corps to be very skeptical of some of these entanglements. But fundamentally, that doesn't mean you can never use military force. And I think the goal here of preventing the Iranians from having a nuclear weapon, we're going to be successful at that goal. And when we are, that's going to be a very good outcome for the American people.
Did you see your...
Now, the jumping off place for me is, look, I understand you're the vice president, and I understand that you're not the president. It's not your policy. I understand. I get it. You got to go out there and you got to toe the company line. You got to say, no, it's going to be great. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. I said it 47 years ago. I've been saying it. I've also been saying that Oprah was too fat to be successful, but there she is. She's fat. She's successful. And I shouldn't have said it on Oprah's show. I don't think that this war is going, and the way that it has come to an end, I don't think it's going to help you. I just do not think it's going to help you. Just another thought here. I just saw this on my friend Eric Sammons' X.com. Somebody put a video up. I guess Tom Cruise was at the UFC fight last night. Now, the first thing is Trump invited Tom Cruise in here because that was by invitation only. And he went. I think that the video that Eric put up is of the national anthem being sung. And Cruise is standing there with his hand over his heart and he's singing. He's standing next to David Beckham. And Beckham is in a nice suit and tie and just has his hands, he's British, has his hands behind his standing peacefully at attention like this. And there is Cruise standing there. And Eric Sammons says, Tom Cruise becoming the most normal person among Hollywood superstars was not on anyone's 2005 bingo card.
That was at a soccer. That was at the FIFA.
Oh, that was at FIFA. Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought it was at the UFC. Okay. That's it?
Yeah, it's at FIFA.
Yeah, well, that's at FIFA. Why did I think it was the UFC? And then I wonder if he got invited to the UFC. Finally today, Push-Up Pete. Is it number 6? Which is the one I sent you? I think it's number 6. Yeah, it is, number 6. Well, why is your Iran deal any different than Obama's? Oh, wait till you hear this. So, wait a minute. So the Strait of Hormuz had to be closed. You had to start a war with the Iranians. Half of Lebanon is blown to kingdom come. The people in United Arab Emirates hate us. The people in Oman hate us. The people, and maybe they hated us before. They just hate us more now. The people in Qatar hate us. The Saudi Arabians hate us. Everybody hates us now. And you had to start this war, close the Strait of Hormuz, and now you got to pay to have it open. There's going to be a toll. And at the end of the day, the deal that no, ours is different than Obama's. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's pretty much identical. Here, what? And then, so he's asked this question. And of course, because I do push-ups and we're willing to bomb them back into the Stone Ages, basically is the difference.
Are you keeping the force posture in place through the 60 days of negotiations and beyond?
Oh, we'll make sure the military option is there. And that's the big difference between this and JCPOA and the way Obama did it. Obama, they begged Iran for a deal, and we bombed Iran and then put in a blockade and then ran ships through and then have restarted when necessary to ensure that they come to the table for a great deal. So our military posture will be whatever.
Please go back to television. Go back to conning people on Fox. Push-Up Pete, please.
Memorandum of understanding that they live up to what they said they would do. The document says Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, won't seek one, won't buy one, won't have one.
JCPOA said that too. In 60 days,
there'll be negotiations to make that final. But they didn't have the threat of military force the way that we do, that Iran respects in a very way that their regime is more devastated than it's ever been in its 47 years. And that's why they're at the table. So the huge difference is we did this from a position of strength. President Trump led with military might. Military might will stay as long as necessary. You know, if the blockade comes off, then you pull back and you allow shipping to flow, just like Iran needs to allow shipping to go through the straits. But we can snap that blockade back at any point, and they can't do anything about it. And Iran knows that, and that's why we have the leverage in these talks, and we hope they'll go well.
So the JCPOA, you pretty much you reinstated the JCPOA. No, you don't understand. No, they can't have a nuclear weapon. They got spitballs. Riley Gaines comes in fifth. I won 87% of the counties. You don't understand. The Iranians, enough. And now, okay, you've blown $500 billion. Probably another $500 billion to restock the stockpile. And again, the rest of the Middle East said maybe, I don't know, at least it pretended like they liked Americans because we go over there and spend tourism dollars. This is, and again, I understand, Push-Up Pete. I understand that you have to go on, and you're not going to go on and say, well, it was a big mistake and we're sorry that we did it. Iran pretty much got what it wanted. The Trump administration is floundering, folks. CNN polls aren't going to bail him out this time. You know, I think that they leaked this out for people like me, that Trump told Axios that Netanyahu doesn't have any judgment. Yeah, to make it look like there's a break with the Israelis and with Netanyahu, that Netanyahu and the Israelis aren't running our government. Well, I'm sorry, but the Congress of the United States is right now trying to ramrod a bill to the House of Representatives, which will then go to the Senate, to basically turn over control of the United States military and U.S. military intelligence assets, to share them as if the Israelis are an equal partner. This is treason. You know, that is so infuriating. You guys can't do anything that we sent you there to do. Oh, we got this funding through to the DHS. We're going to have deportations and deportations and stuff. I want to leave finally. It's secede. I'm going to go back to me and Steve Cunningham's conversation. This is all about localism, and you don't have any. The state of Louisiana would not try and close the Strait of Hormuz. We would resist violently anyone that tried to close the Mississippi River or the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America and the access to it. We're going to get gas down to $3.50 a gallon now, just in time for 4th of July. You're going to have a great holiday. Everything's going to be wonderful. At what expense? And the expense of what you have lost in trust, the political capital. Mr. Trump, President Trump, you burned it all. You just incinerated. It's like lighting cigars with $100 bills. Maggie, I sent you a soundbite. It is in your signal. This is Milo Yiannopoulos speaking with Dinesh D'Souza, who is an absolute heretic. But Milo gets this part of it right.
Coming from this terrible affliction, this disease that I have.
Say what it is, just so people...
Faggotry, homosexuality. I have found my comfort and salvation in the liturgy. The reason sort of doing Catholic stuff works really well for addicts and for people who have other kinds of things wrong with them, it's the set of rituals that those addictive impulses are imitating in the first place. You know, doing a holy hour, the rosary and all the rest of it. It's what your dopamine circuits and what your brain is trying to reconstruct when you're doing cocaine or whatever it is. It's one of the most effective means by which people free themselves of things like that.
Now, do you think that the idea of God, the idea of cosmic justice, the idea of hell is implanted in every
What the hell is
human
cosmic
being,
justice?
But somehow submerged?
Shut up and
or
let
maybe
him
denied?
talk.
Or I don't think it's very submerged.
You think
I think people take great pleasure, especially on this continent, of contemplating their enemies plunging into hellfire. In fact, I think that's one of the big dividing lines between us and the Protestants. I look on with horror at some of these Baptist preachers who speak with evident glee and anticipation about people they don't like here being condemned to eternal suffering. For a Catholic, of course, we know that any addition to Satan's ranks is a tragedy. A divorce from God is nothing to celebrate at all.
We wouldn't wish it even on our worst enemy.
Well, we try not to.
Right.
We're not always very good at it.
Just to hear himself, he's just doing it for whatever, dude. To hear someone who he said he suffers from faggotry. He said he suffers from faggotry. And I think that when he says that you tune into and you receive certain things from the Catholic things that you do, like he mentioned the rosary and the actual liturgy. Well, you have to actually have a liturgy to go along with that. And the new liturgy just does not require a sacrifice. And I think that's, and I'm not breaking any news here, many of you people that are listening, and I'm not knocking you, and I'm not telling you, you probably actually agree that maybe if you could say the Mass, the new Mass, exactly ad orientem and exactly as Paul VI's Missal came out, and do it reverently. It's like Father Glaude can do it, Father Bozan can do it, Father O'Brien can do it. At least you can restore some of that sacredness to it. But he's right that in considering the holy things, it could be the biggest cliche, but it's true. reading or listening to, because we have the podcast at crusadechannel.com, the lives of the saints might be the antidote so many of you are looking for against modernity. There's almost nothing that is not covered. You know, there's a very funny video clip. Maggie, you don't have to play it. I'm just going to describe it real quick. It's a black guy, and he's talking about how he's finding all these things out about Catholicism. And one of the things he's finding out about is the saints. And he goes through this whole litany, and he goes, my grandmother told me that there's a Catholic saint for everything. He goes, oh, you lost something? We got a saint for that. You got a pimple? We got a saint for that. You're going out to the farm? We got saints for that. You're taking a walk? We got a saint for that. You have this affliction? We got a saint for that. You didn't know that? We got a saint for that. And he goes, Catholics all know them by heart. They know that this, you lose something, you go to St. Anthony of Padua. People poo-poo this, I think, and I don't think that you should, because it's some of the, Steve Jobs, who was certainly no Catholic and no Christian, but that doesn't mean that Steve was wrong and philosophically correct from time to time. Steve would tell his engineers, sometimes the best solution is the simplest solution. Don't make something complicated just because you can. The best solution to something is the simplest one. And it makes sense. It's what we call in our business and in what we're trying to do here on the Crusade Radio Guild. It's what we call the UX, the user experience. And we never stop working on UX. Well, Catholicism has a UX with it. And the lives of the saints is part of it. As a matter of fact, it's why the Reverend Alban Butler spent his life gathering every story he could find about every saint he could get his hand on and what day they should be on the calendar, and then publishing Butler's lives of the fathers, doctors, and saints of the church. Don Prosper Garanger and the liturgical year. It's the same thing. Got his hand on, and he used the Reverend Alban Butler as a reference. Got his hand on every piece that he could, and then wrote the liturgical year. But it's built around the lives of the saints for that day. So it really is something that is simple and that you could follow. We are your home for the Win a Pound of Gold.com raffle. I explained earlier today, if you missed it, I'm going to try to explain it in a different hour every day now. I explained earlier today that if you're a new listener, then you don't know that we always do fundraising. We've had to do fundraising since we founded the Crusade channel in the second year, when the seed money, the capital money ran out. We've been doing fundraising ever since, which is why we gave cars away. They were fundraisers. Giving a pound of gold away is a fundraiser. It's a way for you to win a really awesome prize. And as I said, you could get creative with this. Put your family together and say, hey guys, why don't we all get together and see if we can raise $1,000 and buy 20 of them Gold and True tickets. I think Mike and Steve Cunningham are worth it. And then we'll all put our tickets together, and if we win it, we'll split the gold. That's one way to think about it. But we've always done fundraising. There has never been a time when we have not done fundraising. So this is a fundraiser. So I'm asking you to step up to the plate and go to winapoundofgold.com and, buy 20 tickets today. Figure out a way to buy 10. And when you become an affiliate and people start buying using your link, you're going to get more free tickets and a chance to win the gold. Second place is a pound of silver. Third place is the rare bourbon and mixer basket. Fourth place is the $500 gift certificate to Ammo Depot. And then Steve Cunningham is going to donate all sorts of stuff. He says if we get to 10,000 tickets sold, he is going to find someone who needs it and is going to buy them diapers for a year. Spread the word. Get your tickets today. Winapoundofgold.com. I want to thank you for listening and watching today. You have a choice on what to listen to or to watch. Today you chose us. Thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow at same due time, same due channel. Keep it tuned. Look, if you're watching on Sensus Fidelium And you're going like, well, how am I supposed to win the ticket if I can't hear the soundbite? You could. We're streaming free 24/7. Download the app. CrusadeChannel.com/app. CrusadeChannel.com/app. You can listen to the Crusade Channel all day long. Don't cost nothing during the free preview. So, if news does break out today, we will break in. Until then, God bless you. And today's saints are, can you turn it? Today's Saint Vitus, Modestus, Crescentia, and Germain of Saint Germain was a she of Toulouse. Pray for us. God bless you and Mary keep you.
On his side, the liberals can run, but they'll never hide. He's a friend of Mr. Madison as he